Throw the ball quickly. He's got to do that. They're concerned about Jerome Brown coming up the middle and disrupting their pass offense, and they want to start out early, throwing the ball quickly. Now, Jerry Rice is going to be doubled all day long. Look for Don Taylor to have a big day, or Rathman out of the backfield, who had his best game as a receiver last week. Those two guys could be the key. Eventually, though, Rice will get a big one.
As you all know, last week the Eagles won the most frantic game in the decade in defeating Washington. It was a thrilling game, but how do they forget that and concentrate on this one?
The players don't have that much trouble forgetting a game. They move it on. They enjoy it maybe Monday and Tuesday, but practice starts Wednesday and they have it out of their system. But the fans here in Philadelphia, they won't let them forget. The writers, the sportscasters, they won't let them forget. Everyone is still talking about last week's victory over Washington. Well, the Eagles are going to win today. They're going to have to put it behind them, and they're going to have to look for Cunningham today once again. But Cunningham today will do something he probably hasn't had to do his entire career. He is going to have to search all over the field for the one player who is single covered. The 49ers are going to take away at least two receivers. They're going to double them all day long. Cunningham, a lot of pressure on him today.
Luis Zendejas will kick off. The 49ers won the toss. Tillman and Flagler are deep. It goes right by Terrence Flagler and through the end zone. And the 49ers will take over after the touchback. Joe Montana, now in his 11th year. Last week, 25 of 39 for 266 yards, one touchdown, and he ran for the winner with less than a minute to go. Bubba Paris, Jeff Griegel, Cipolla replaces Randy Cross at center. Collie and Barton on the right side, and the tight end is Brent Jones. In the backfield, Craig and Rathman, the wide receivers Rice and Taylor. On passing downs, Mike Wilson will be the first player off the bench. First and 10, split backs. And off to Roger Craig. He tests the left side and finds one. Now with the struggle, May have 2 yards. And a little bit of a battle breaks out. Clyde Simmons got into it. So did Jerome Brown. Philadelphia's defense. And they gave up a whopping total last week. White, Pitts, Brown, and Simmons are the front four. The linebackers Joyner, Byron Evans, and Al Harris, who had the big fumble recovery. Izell Jenkins, Allen, Hopkins, and Bell. And on passing downs, Andre Waters and Lefty Frizzell. Second down and 7 after a gain of 3. 46 defense. Randy White over center. John Taylor with the catch short of the first down at the 28-yard line, and Izell Jenkins makes the tackle.
What we were talking about, the quick step. Notice the 1-2-3 drop by Montana, and then the quick out to Taylor. Every time that Montana especially sees the corners come up and press his wide receivers, that indicates to Montana this is man coverage. He wants to go 1-2-3 and get rid of the ball very quickly.
Double tight end set now. Guy McIntyre, number 62, who was a starter at guard and serves as an extra tight end, is tight to the left. Roger Craig, first down. As he squirts across the 30-yard line. Ty Allert, number 58, made the tackle in the short yardage play. So it'll be first down and 10. Joe Montana told you, Terry, that he thought scoring early was important for the 49ers.
Well, the Redskins thought it was important last week, and they jumped off to a 20-0 lead, and everyone thought, well, this one's over with, and that only ignites the Philadelphia offense. But yes, scoring is always the most important thing. Scoring first.
Montana will throw for the first down. Mike Pitts goes right by him. Off balance throw incomplete. It was Pitts who was right in Montana's face. Michael Pitts, number 74.
Pitts, one of the tackles, along with Jerome Brown, that concerned the 49ers, especially up front. But the key to that really was Izell Jenkins coming off his corner spot in a delayed blitz. He caught Montana by surprise by coming up late, and that allowed Pitts to get in and force a bad pass.
Second down and 10. Craig Rathman can't get the block he wants, and Seth Joyner bites off the block and makes the tackle. Number 59. Rathman, recognized as one of the best blocking backs in the NFL, went down around the knees of Joyner And Joyner did a good job of scraping off the block.
To the right of your screen, notice 44. One of the things the 49ers want to do against the Eagles, they think they can go wide. And to do that, it's going to be imperative that Rathman, the fullback, be able to block the linebackers and block them inside. He can't allow them to get outside. That time, Joyner fought the block off and made the tackle.
3rd and 10, passing circumstance, and Mike Wilson comes in, number 85. He's in a slot to the left. Blitz. Montana with time. Deep for Rice. Rice has it. Rice will score his 52nd touchdown. 68 yards. That's Izell Jenkins that he beat, and the man with whom he is joined.
Well, it's an 8-man front. And when you have an 8-man front, there are 3 receivers. There have to be 3 defensive backs. 46, Izell Jenkins moved to the outside by Rice. The minute Izell Jenkins turned his hips to the outside, then Rice cut back to the inside. It's man-for-man coverage. When you blitz a safety, there's no one in the middle, and that's why Rice went to the post. Montana found him. The blitz, once again, killed the Eagles.
Michael Cofer's extra point is up and good. Last week, it took 1 play for the Redskins to score on the Eagles. This time, it took 4 more. 68 yards for the touchdown. '68-yard touchdown toss, Montana to Rice. You've heard that combination a few times before. Michael Cofer will kick off as the 49ers zoom past the Eagles here at home, and they lead it 7-0. Michael Cofer will kick off. Henry Guns Gizmo Williams, so nicknamed by Reggie White, and Mark Higgs is the 2nd man deep now for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Any other team, you would have to say once again, boy, this has to be a shock to them, but the Eagles are just used to this. They're just used to being down early.
Bounces, Higgs at the 3. And he is waylaid. Johnny Jackson makes the tackle, and there appeared to be a loose ball for a moment. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdowns here.
All right, this is an 8-man front. Notice, first of all, no one in the middle. Here's the strong safety, Andre Waters. There's your blitz. A good pocket for him. There's another safety, and that'll be a crossing route. These guys will do this. No one gets in the middle, which allows Rice, the entire center of the football field, to score. Notice, good pass protection. There's your crossing route. Notice the free safety on the left picks up the cross. Rathman is picked up by the other one, and look in the middle. Oh, my gosh, you can't let that happen. Montana said, pick, I'll get the big one later.
First down 10, Randall Cunningham. Handoff, Keith Myers. And he gets about 1. Larry Roberts makes the tackle, number 91. Let's check the lineups, of course. Cunningham had a career day last week. 5 touchdowns, 447 yards. He is joined offensively up front by Darwin, Shad, Alexander, Tamburello, Heller, and the tight end Keith Jackson, who had 12 catches last week. Byers, Heath Sherman replaces an injured Anthony Toney. Quick and Carter had big days a week ago, and on passing downs, it'll be Ron Johnson and Greg Garrity who join the lineup. Now Mike Quick comes deep wide left side. It's 2nd down and 10. Officially no gain on the last play. They hand it off to Heath Sherman, the rookie fullback. And he gets a couple out here at the 27-yard line. 49er defensive unit. Up front, Larry Roberts, Michael Carter, and Kevin Fagan. The down 3, the linebackers, Charles Haley. He'll be up and down all day. Farnhorst, Walter, and Keena Turner. And in the secondary, Darrell Pollard starts for an injured Tim McKyer. Griffin, Ronnie Lott, and Chet Brooks are back there. And then on passing downs, Johnny Jackson and Jeff Fuller will come into the lineup. 3rd and 7. And Randall Cunningham operates out of the shotgun. 4-man front, no blitz. Haley coming from the right side. Cunningham will run. But he is down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a punting circumstance for the Philadelphia Eagles, and Charles Haley made the tackle. Daniel Stubbs, number 96, comes up with it, playing in the nickel defense, but it was after the tackle. And Haley and Randall tap helmets affectionately and say, let's get on with it.
Well, you notice how quiet things have gotten. And that happens when you have a visiting team. You know, one of the old strategies as a player visiting, and our coaches used to tell us this, take the crowd out of the game. In other words, get them from shouting and screaming and disrupting everything. Score early. That early score has taken the crowd right now, Philadelphia's crowd, very quiet.
John Telchik will punt. John Taylor to return. That's a poor punt by Telchik. It does get an Eagle bounce, and Taylor looks for some help. Doesn't get any. And is down at the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Jesse Small, number 52. A 40-yard punt, about half on the return, and -1. 7-0. 49ers lead it. 9:46 to go. First quarter. 9:46 to go first quarter. 7-0. Verm Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw here. George Seifert now in his third game as head coach, having served 9 years as defensive coordinator for Bill Walsh. Said his charge is to not screw it up. They're on a roll. He wants to keep them on a roll. First down and 10. 49ers lead on a 68-yard touchdown pass. Montana to Rice. Three-man rush. Pass in the flat. Run by Roger Craig. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, there's the quick pass once again by Montana on first down. And you will see this a lot with the 49ers. They will use a short passing attack like a running attack. And on first down, especially anticipating the linebackers of the Eagles dropping off, Montana will throw the little wide pass to his backs.
2nd and 10. Roger Craig tests the left guard, gets a couple to the 30-yard line. And again, we've got some verbal abuse going on out there. This is Jeff Briegel, number 65, the left guard. 3-year man out of USC. He made a mistake early in the ballgame last week, and George Seifert sat him down. He did not play again.
Yeah, he missed a block on a screen pass, and they pulled him, and Bruce Colley moved from right guard to left guard, and McIntyre moved from backup to starting right guard. And
matter of fact, after he missed the block, Bruce Colley walked over and slapped him on the helmet. And then Briegel sat down for the remainder of the game. McIntyre came in. Third down. No blitz. Reggie White with pressure. Roger Craig gets the relief pass, and William Frizzell with a shoulder-high tackle. That'll be a punting situation. Frizzell, the nickel back, with a big interception last week.
Well, that's the pressure the Eagles talked about all week. We have to put the pressure on Montana. If we can do that and disrupt his rhythm, we want to make him bring the ball down. There it's down. Now he has to bring it up again. Good job by White. Gets in, breaks down the pocket. Montana outside has to unload it to his back.
Barry Helton on the punt. He's got a fine average, but the effective punt return is only 31.9 of the effective punting average. So they have been returning them on it. Gizmo Williams down to 30-yard line, so not much of a return there. Reggie White still looking for his first sack of 1989. He's not that concerned, but the media here in town is calling attention to it. Often, timeout. Barry Helton is the punter. You think it's fun to play punter in this league? Watch Andre Waters, who gives him a shot, and Helton fights him off. And then Helton says, let him go. There's Andre Waters, who has a reputation of being one of the more aggressive players in the league. First down and 10, 7-0. Pass in the back. Pete Jackson gets his first of the day. Interesting, we were talking with Waters yesterday, as we said, he does have a reputation of hitting sometimes even after the whistle has blown. If you can believe this, he was wearing a T-shirt that said cuddle up on the top, cuddle, and then a picture of a little dog, and underneath it said puppy love.
Obviously a romanticist. I find nothing wrong with that. This is a game of contact, and Waters and get a little shot to Barry, said hello. That's nothing wrong with that.
Second down and 7. Heath Sherman, number 23. Anthony Toney is not on the active list today. The Giants leading Phoenix early and Chicago over Detroit. Toney suffered a knee injury in the first half last week in the win over the Redskins, and so he is not suited up today. And Heath Sherman, a 6th-round draft choice, number 23, is starting at fullback. Third down and 4. Four-man front again. Haley is tight to the right side out of the shotgun. Byers goes right, spilled before he gets the first down. Daniel Stubbs, number 93. Pierce Holt, that's their goal line circumstance, or rather their long yardage circumstance.
Well, that's a play that's a wide sweep that a lot of teams use if they can catch a team in a man coverage. You run everyone off downfield. There's no support to make the tackle. You pull both guards, but that time the 49ers fooled the Eagles and came up in corner support, and there was no one out there, and it was an easy play for them to make.
John Taylor's second punt return of the afternoon. John Pilchick back to pitch. Almost blocked. Taylor. It's a fumble. Philadelphia football.
Taylor doing a fine job. Takes a lot of courage to catch a punt with someone coming down so close, but looking back to go against the grain of the coverage, and then the ball is just simply slapped out of his hands. Looks like that's Gizmo Williams, number 81, knocks it out of his hands.
George Seifert watching. William Frizzell recovered it. And the Eagles have a first down at the 32. They trail 7-0. And they are at the 49er 32. The handoff, Heath Sherman. He struggles for yardage. He fumbles. 49ers get it. Charles Haley, number 94. Kevin Fagan came up with the football, number 75.
Well, man, in a game like this, one of the things you can't have happen, you can't be giving the ball over. Philadelphia did this last week. Mistakes cost them. There's a simple underneath. There's Fagan waiting on him, 75, and his helmet landed right on ball, bounces outside, and then Keena Turner, 58, knocked the ball loose.
It was Turner who caused the fumble. Montana will go deep left side. Maybe. No, he will not. Jerome Brown with the first contact. Mike Pitts with the sack.
The tackles, Vern, are the key to the Eagles getting pressure on Montana, especially if he wants to take a short step. If he wants to drop 3 steps or 5 steps, the earliest pressure is going to come from the middle, right up the middle. Pitts, 74, and Jerome Brown, 99. Brown around the outside, right inside, and he forces Montana to step into the arms of Pitt, the other tackle.
Double tight end set now on second down. Second and 15. Craig out of the backfield. Straight drop back. Brent Jones, the tight end, chased by Byron Evans. Big play. First down at the 44. And Wes Hopkins had to catch up and make the tackle, a gain of 18.
Right, and that is unusual. You know, it's unusual. I'm saying the defense is unusual because in long yardage situations, you never play man coverage because crossing routes kill you. That time, Brent Jones, the tight end, simple crossing route, and the Eagles jumped into a man-to-man coverage, and a crossing route runs away from coverage very easily. Jones gets beyond the tight end, the safety bell. Good catch, first down, 49ers.
5:35 to go first quarter. It's 7-0 San Francisco. First down, 49er 44. Right side. Caught by John Taylor. Out to the 50. Jesse Sapolu replaces Randy Cross at center this year, and he's got a tough task this afternoon. Reggie White will be lined up against him 65% of the time.
This is Jesse, 61. There's a little mark on him. 92 is White. There he is. And they come off the ball, and that's the match. That's the matchup that the Eagles want. They normally will put 92 White over the center that they believe that he can most control, not only by himself but also in a blitz situation called the Eagles or the Bear 46.
This time White is out of his end spot. It's second down. Tom Rathman caught behind the line. Jerome Brown, who had maybe the best game of his career last week with 2 sacks and 9 tackles. He's been inconsistent the former #1 draft choice of Miami, but he had a huge game against the Redskins.
Well, he said one of the things he's developed is a counter move. He used to have one move. He said, now I have two, and sometimes more than that. I'm learning. But the key, the 49ers last week against a smaller, quicker Tampa Bay team had trouble running the football. They expect today to be able to run the football against the Eagles because they match up weight-wise very well.
Harry Sidney is in as the running back now, replacing Matman. 4 wide receivers in Montana. Chased again, caught and dropped. Second time they've gotten to him. It's Clyde Simmons.
One of the things that is frustrating number 92 White about his sacks is notice that 69 and 61 double team White. All right, Collie turns him loose, and then the center Sapolo picks him up. That frees up the other two, the other end and the other tackles.
Barry Hilton will punt for the second time. 49ers have given up 7 sacks in the first 2 games and 2 already in the first quarter here. Hilton the punt. Williams, there's a fumble. Flag is down, and so is Hilton. Clyde Simmons got the tackle if the play stands.
Well, the only thing I can imagine is that one of the Eagles, it is. It's against the 49ers.
Illegal formation. Number 89, an eligible receiver, was playing inside. Decline. First down.
Clyde Simmons, who made the tackle, was injured on the play.
Playing inside. I can't find 89, but down in here you have to have people on the outside. There should be 2 wide guys. There are none. There's one to the left, but there's none to the right. There's 89 on your right. Off the line of scrimmage. Inside, no problem, but he's off the line of scrimmage. There's 3 guys back there. He can't do that.
Clyde Simmons injured after he made the tackle. They're still tending to him, and time has been called. Back to play. Cunningham drills it. Caught by Carter at the 25. First down. Chris Carter out of Ohio State. Chet Brooks, number 31, made the tackle. There's Clyde Simmons, who is gasping with the oxygen mask now. He was injured on that tackle of Barry Hilton, but walked off by himself and appears to be okay. Simmons out of Western Carolina. A quiet force defensively. Doesn't get nearly the publicity that the other linemen do. Second down and 2. 7-0. 49ers lead on a 68-yard pass. Montana to Rice. He fires. That should be enough to move the chain. Left side. Matt Darwin, number 78, the left tackle. And Michael Shadd, number 79, with the blocks. Giants with a 2-touchdown lead over Phoenix now in the first quarter. And Redskins and Dallas tied at 7.
One of the things that Cunningham likes to do, he likes play action down in this area, but doesn't like to turn his back. He's afraid of the blitzes. The 49ers will only blitz a strong safety. They will not blitz a corner. So that kind of simplifies things for the quarterback. He can pick up one of the safeties and know whether or not it's blitz.
First down and 10. Carter is in motion. Deep handoff, a sprint draw from Mark Higgs. That was a play put in just today for this game, and it's to utilize the sometimes special talents of that 5'7", 200-pounder, Mark Higgs.
You have specialists for punting and for your punt return teams and third down receivers and defensive backs, and Mark Higgs is a back that the Philadelphia Eagles will put in and run a sprint draw. They got this off of a film. A sprint draw. Number 1, he's very quick, very explosive. When he sees the hole, he gets slow and blasts through it.
Second and 4. Draw play to Houston. Oh, play fake. Cunningham drills it to the 2. Keith Jackson, and he's hurt. He was hit by Ronnie Lott. Great play fake by Randall Cunningham.
Play fakes down here are not that good, though, Vern. Normally, because you're in man coverage, notice they drop off. There's the crossing route. Cunningham, outstanding job. They threw sidearm between 2 linebackers, got the ball into Jackson, but the hit by Ronnie Lott on the rib cage is the hit, I believe, that hurt Jackson. There's the sidearm. There's the down. Now you see Lott, 42, come across the top and catch Jackson in the left side of his ribs.
Got that right knee in the back, lower back area in the ribs. There's Keith Jackson with the second catch, and there's the contact, Ronnie Lott and Keith Jackson. So
now it looks like his knees came over the rib cage, and quarterbacks wear a protective rib cage just for cases like that. Protect that one vulnerable area that is not protected, which is the ribs.
So the tight end, Ronnie Lott, made the tackle or made the contact. Really, it was more of contact than a tackle. And he's going to check on Keith Jackson now.
And one of the great reputations that Ronnie Lott has is the fact that when people come across the middle, the receivers that is, they always keep their eye on number 42, Ronnie Lott, because he is a guy who has built a reputation as not only a smart defensive back, but a tremendous hitter. He is a guy that they say you just take the clips out of his hits, send them to the archives, and let everybody enjoy them years to come.
Ronnie Lott, now in his 9th year. First and goal Eagles as they try and tie it up. Split backs behind Cunningham. Double tight end set. Inside handoff. Reed Sherman, touchdown. He's a 6th-round draft choice out of Texas A&I, where he played in the shadow of a young man who is still there named Johnny Bailey. And Sherman gets the touchdown from 2 yards out.
This is, you know, goal line offense, all you try to do is just exactly come off and knock penetration off the ball. Defense, nothing special. Just blow the offense back. That time the Eagles won that one.
Zendejas to try and tie it up. Let's take a look now at Heath Sherman from ground level with the touchdown.
Counter action. There's the motion coming in. That's the old tackle lead that the Steelers used to run. Counteract, bring the man in motion. He is the extra back. He has momentum picked up. He hits the hole. You counteract around. That holds the linebacker, and then you give it to the back who gets in behind the man in motion.
His first NFL touchdown, and the extra point tie this game up 7-7 with 1:42 remaining. Out of Texas A&I in Kingsville, Texas, down in the Corpus Christi area. 7-7, 1:48 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been a quick quarter. You know, the 49ers, you know, we were talking to Jim Fonhorst, because I'm concerned about jet lag as much as I have to travel, but Fonhorst was telling us yesterday that when we asked him about, are you tired? He said, you know, I didn't think I was, but he said, Wednesday in practice, he said, I felt my legs absolutely just go dead. And he said, I realized then, you know, we have to get on another plane and travel to the East Coast this week.
Well, here's what they have had to do to open the season. This is their 3rd road trip now. They started at Indianapolis, Tampa, and now Philadelphia. So in 3 weeks, they have accumulated 13,718 frequent flyer miles. That won't quite get you a free trip to London, but it'll help you get on the way.
Well, if one player can con everybody else out of all their frequent flyer miles, it's about 70 people, 80 people times 13,000. Wow. But you don't get credit for charters, so blow that out the window. But sure sounds good. That's almost a trip to, I don't know, where you can go anywhere you want to go.
Yeah.
250, 300,000 miles.
Well, the 49ers are back home tomorrow against, or rather next week against the Rams. Here's Zendejas to kick it off. Flagler is deep, and he is joined back there by Spencer Tillman. Terrence Flagler, who walked out of practice middle of this week, unhappy over the lack of playing time. Fumbles the kickoff return. Now his coaches are going to be unhappy over his playing time.
Well, he's the #2 guy in the National Football Conference in kickoff returns, over 28 yards a return, but you know, it's okay to walk out and protest and go out. My understanding, he got out, went to a burger place, had him a burger, drove around Highway 80 or whatever it is out there, 280, and came back. But when you do things like that, you need to produce.
Flagler's fumble, then the tackle. Montana on the offense of the 49ers have it at the 11-yard line. First down and 10. 7-7 ball game. Rice left, Taylor right. Montana. Reggie White gets him and grabs him at the 2. That is Reggie White's first sack of the season.
He went 0 for sacks in the first 2 games, right? You're going to see the guard this time, or the center pull out, but White will come in. Montana comes out and runs right into White as he penetrates the blocks. Watch this. 61, the center, comes out. Sapula, now he'll help out. Notice there are 2 people on White. He gets through both of them and makes the sack of Montana.
Harris Barton is trying number 79, and then Sapolu, 61.
Now you're really in trouble. Now you're backed up.
2nd and 18 from the 2. Flag is down, delay of game. That play will be brought back.
Oh, my. Oh, my. They're not going to bring it back, Vern.
We had delay of game offense before the snap.
They will bring it back.
Line, still 2nd down.
Yeah, the delay of game penalty went prior to the snap. Or the thing I was hollering about, that would have been in the grass rule, which I totally agree with, but we've seen them where they throw the flag, and that's a safety. That would have been a safety in the grass had the flag not fallen prior to the snap. 1, 2, 3. The quick count to get rid of the ball quickly, and Jerome Brown, once again, the guy the 49ers are concerned about, he breaks up the middle and messes this thing up.
There was a delay of game flag thrown before the ball was snapped, so it is still 2nd down. Half the distance to the goal line makes it 2nd and 19.
46.
That's a safety.
Let's look and see if Montana slips or does he step on a lineman. Look at his feet. It's once again is a quick pass. There's one. The right guard, Colley. Good gosh, the right guard, Colley, steps on his foot. The left foot, notice this foot will come over and step on Montana's right foot. There's the snap. There's the big step. Notice the big step. That is the play. It wasn't a pass. It was going to be a sweep, and that cost the 49ers 2 points of safety. And the worst thing about that is now they have to punt the ball away to the Eagles. Give them the ball again.
Terry, that's not really that unusual. I've seen that happen several times, right, with your guard and your quarterback.
Right, the guard that time was going to come over inside and seal with the center, and you create a pocket, and the way you do that, you interlock your legs. And what Colley was doing was simply coming over to form a solid wall inside to prevent the tackles from busting up the middle and messing up the quick pass. It was going to be a little play action, and Montana was going to throw the ball. He took a big step, and Montana, coming out normally, had not pushed off with his right foot yet. Therefore, Colley steps on his foot. Montana trips. Let's look at it again.
You can really see it now.
Notice Montana, there's the big step by 69 Colley, the right guard, right on the top of Montana's right foot. And Montana's dead. If you put 275 pounds on a little guy 190, he's not budging.
Now the free kick, so it's 9-7. Michael Coper with the free kick for the 49ers. Williams and Higgs are deep. 9-7 with 32 seconds to go, first quarter. Henry Williams. Flag is down. And Williams is tackled as he gets to the 45. Reichenbach's looking around as if he might be the guy they're going to call for the illegal block here. It's a holding call. So that'll cost the Eagles.
Yeah, the last thing you want is a 15-yard holding call on a kickoff here.
Dick Jorgensen heads our officiating crew.
Holding number 94, receiving team during the run back. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Steve Kafusi, number 94, with the hold. So Reichenbach was looking in Kafusi's direction, and that'll cost him yardage back to the 28-yard line. 9-7, Buddy Ryan's team on top. Matt Cavanaugh, who was the quarterback for the 49ers the last time these two teams played out in San Francisco. He is now, of course, the Eagle backup, wearing number 6. In that last game in '86, Montana was injured and didn't play. Quick screen, they try it. And great defense by Don Griffin on Michael Quick. As Randall Cunningham tried to go to Quick, and Griffin was right in his face.
Oh, did Griffin do a great job. The right corner, number 29, when Cunningham spun out on the play-action quick screen, Cunningham had baited, Griffin baited Cunningham into believing that the wide receiver would be wide open. He dropped way off, which means that you can throw the quick screen because there's no one up on top. But then all of a sudden, at the very last, Griffin ran up and got right on top of the receiver. And, man, you cannot run a quick screen then.
2nd down and 10. 19 seconds to go, first quarter. 3 wide receivers in. Byers is one of them. And he cuts across the middle, makes the catch at the 33. Tackle is made by number 49, Jeff Fuller. That should be the final play of the first quarter. 68-yard touchdown pass, Montana to Jerry Rice. A 2-yard touchdown plunge by Heath Sherman, and then the safety at the end of the quarter. That's the end of it. Reggie White, with 1 sack thus far, has led an Eagle defense that also resulted in a 49er safety. And it's 9-7. Eagles have the ball back with a 3rd down and 5 now from their own 33 as we start quarter number 2. A glorious September Sunday. Vern Lundquist and Terry Bradshaw here in the 3rd week of the season.
Yeah, this is good. You know, the offense that the Eagles are running now, they're placing themselves in 3rd and 4th, 3rd and 5. And this is a great offense for the Eagles, a great position because they can use all their people, get the ball quick to them, and then let them run.
Nickel defense in for the 49ers. Out of the shotgun, a high snap from Alexander. Flag is down. Jackson back in the game, makes the catch. And if the play stands, it's a 1st down. But check the flag.
Well, it looks like it was offsides by the 49ers.
In which case, Philadelphia keeps possession.
They'll decline the penalty, take the pass. There you go. That's Haley, 94 down, and behind him is
Offsides, number 94, defense, decline.
Yeah, Haley told us he didn't like getting down. He said, one of the reasons I don't like being in the 3-point stance, I can't see. And sometimes my responsibilities, as I look like I'm rushing from a 3-point stance, I have to pick up people out of the backfield and cover them all over the football field. He said, I don't like being down. I'd rather stay up. I can see better.
But he said he also thought he would be in a 3-point stance, a down stance. Most of today, he is right now to the left side. 1st down and 10. Cunningham changes the play.
There's a change.
Fights the clock and beats it. Now he'll run. And he's hit late out of bounds. There's the flag.
Carter.
Michael Carter hit him a good 3 yards out of bounds.
And the worst, and the reason this flag was thrown, even though Carter, this was not a flagrant hit, but notice where he hits him. Now he's out of bounds. You can't touch him. Carter's actually stumbling, falls, and lands on Cunningham.
Late hit out of bounds, 15 yards, 1st down.
He lands on Cunningham's knees. And, man, you put 295 pounds on 180 pounds knees, and something's going to give. Cunningham very lucky. His feet gave way, and he's able to get up.
Randall Cunningham, who has reduced his number of rushes this year. Look at his average per game in the past 3 years. 36 yards, 42, and 39. This year he has rushed for an average of only 6 yards in each of the first 2 games.
Yeah, last week, what did the Redskins tell us? They said we want to keep him in the pocket. One of their players went so far as to say that when he's in the pocket, he's not as good a quarterback. Not as good. And he only threw for 447 yards from the pocket.
From
5
the pocket.
touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah, that player was Charles Mann.
So much for that theory.
Here's Heath Sherman after the penalty. And a 1st down at the 39-yard line. Kevin Fagan and Charles Haley make the tackle. 9-7. The Eagles, of course, we talked about San Francisco start with the 3 road games they have. Philadelphia opened at home against Seattle, but this is the 2nd of 4 weeks in which they will face Super Bowl champions of the 80s. Last week in Washington, the 49ers today, They're at Chicago a week from tomorrow night, and then at home against the New York Giants. So theirs is not an unwinding road. 2nd down and 7. Off balance, Sherman. 1st down. Michael Walter saved a bunch more.
Once again, we're back to crossing routes. Nothing strikes quicker than a crossing route. It doesn't even have to be a long pass, a short, quick pass, but a crossing route inside. There, number 23 gets inside of Michael Walter, 99. He made an outside move, froze the linebacker, went back inside, and if he's not tripped up, he's in the end zone because everyone else is run off.
Cunningham now 6 of 7 for 50 yards. They'll throw on 1st down. Contact, but no flag. David Little, number 89, had replaced Keith Jackson at tight end for at least that play, and Jim Fonhorst made the tackle, or knocked the ball down, rather.
Yeah, you throw to your tight ends over the middle. When you read a linebacker drop and you have a little hook, you key the linebacker as a quarterback. You say, oh, it's zone. I've got a 10-yard hook. There's no way a linebacker should be able to stop a little swing hook by the tight end. That time, the tight end was David Little. It wasn't Keith Jackson.
Cunningham now 6 of 8. 2nd down and 10. 3-man rush by the 49ers. Cunningham dodges to his left. Off balance in the end zone. Incomplete. Michael Quick and Ronnie Lott, a couple of all-pros down in the corner doing battle.
Last year, I honestly believe this, Vern. Last year, I believe Cunningham would have run with the football. But one of the big changes in his playing this year is the fact that when he scrambles out of the pocket, he looks downfield to throw the football. He doesn't look to run anymore. Notice he looks downfield. There's the pressure. Fagan goes inside, Cunningham outside. Notice he almost ran, pulled the ball up, spots Quick, and then tries to get it into Quick. If he doesn't catch it, it's out of the end zone.
That brings up a 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Cunningham, Heath Sherman. Short of the 1st down. It'll bring the field goal unit on. As Sherman is down at the 17-yard line, and Luis Zendejas will come on. Zendejas, who could have been a hero last week, but missed a 33-yard field goal in the 4th quarter that at the moment would have put the Eagles on top. They did come back to win, of course. But he is 1 of 3 for the season, and both of his misses have been from 33 yards out. This will be a 35-yard field goal effort. And John Pilchick will hold. David Alexander is the center, and Buddy Ryan said he thinks Alexander's been snapping it too high. They've been working on it this week. That's a good snap and a good hold. Thus, the kick is perfect. "35-yard field goal, Luis Zendejas. It's a 12-7 ball game. Philadelphia leads. Joe Montana has hit his first career pass against the Eagles, but Montana has been sacked 4 times, and the Eagles have scored 12 in a row. They lead it now 12-7 after the safety and the field goal. And Terry Bradshaw, I think the key thus far has obviously been the defensive pressure by that Eagle line.
Well, the key right now has been the tackles, Jerome Brown and Pitts, but primarily Jerome Brown. He's breaking into the pocket, forcing Montana out to Montana's right, and who's waiting on him at the right side but
Reggie White.
Reggie White, number 92. If there's one change, they're going to have to take care of Brown, double-team Brown, and then hope that Pitts can be the guy to break the huddle down. But right now, Brown is driving them crazy.
Philadelphia trying to go 3-0, so are the 49ers. And here is Zendejas to kick off. Nice kick. Flagler chases it out of the end zone. They'll come out to the 20.
You're looking at Zendejas, and Vern, you brought up a good point about how he was complaining about David Alexander's snaps being too high. And so what Buddy Ryan said was, well, look, everything's been too good for you. The snaps have been perfect. You've got to learn how to adapt. Be like a Marine. Adapt, adjust, overcome. So this week in practice, they practice Alexander snapping the ball right and left and bouncing it, making it high, and forcing Zendejas to stay in there and go ahead and hit the football and stop worrying so much. One thing that has gone for him are the kickoffs, and you saw an example of why there. From the 20, Joe Montana, 4 sacks already. It's a 12-7 Eagle lead. And off to Roger Craig. Reggie White makes contact.
with some help and gets him down.
Reggie White, 92 that time, and he's an interesting guy to watch because he will move up and down the defensive line. That time lined up over the center, and most teams say when White lines up over the center, that's the 46. Well, what's the 46? The 46 is an 8-man front, which normally means teams are going to blitz off of it, but the Eagles don't necessarily do that.
This time it's a 4-man front. No, now they're in a version of the 46, and Isaiah Jenkins drops off. Linebackers up on the line. Montana being flushed out of the pocket again. Across the middle, caught, but only a modest gain. Tom Rathman, number 44, makes the catch, and Seth Joyner is right there to make the tackle. Joyner had an interesting perspective on this defense, and Buddy Ryan has said of him that he's the most underrated outside linebacker in the league. Last week, we talked to him about the 46, and he said the toughest thing about playing the defense is living up to the expectations of it. It has become so publicized that people expect great things out of it. Third down. And 4. 12-7. Philadelphia leads. Montana back. They got their hands on him. Rathman has a first down for San Francisco at the 35. Seth Joyner with the tackle. Brown and Kriegel doing battle.
99 Brown. Notice that Sapolo comes out, checks Brown, turns Brown loose, thinking that, well, my guy's got it. Briegel's going to handle him okay, but he does not. Brown goes around. Briegel gets right in on Montana right as Joe is getting rid of the football. Good job by Montana, but once again, the guy Brown, who everyone says has had an up-and-down career, this game and last week, he's playing absolutely havoc with the guards.
Standard 4-3 defense now. Isaiah Jenkins trails Jerry Rice. They go deep for Rice, and Rice makes the catch. My gracious, Jenkins and Todd Bell were right with him.
Oh, if you would simply look at Jenkins, you would say he's got him covered. Let's start with the pass rush. We're concerned about Clyde Simmons, 96, Jerome Brown, 99. Hey, this is good time, but once again, the pressure by Brown. Now, Rice comes in and goes to the post. Let's watch Rice inside. Now, he will go up, and Jenkins, 46, picks him up. Now, Jenkins says, hey, I got him covered, but the ball is underthrown, and every time a ball is underthrown, I always say my guys will catch it. The offensive guys will catch it.
One other thing, Bruce Colley's now at left guard. Flag is down. Colley has gone to left guard, and Guy McIntyre has gone to right guard.
False start, number 79.
Because
offense, 5 yards, still first down.
That's Harris Barton who moved, the right tackle. But Terry Briegel was pulled out of last week's game, and he has now been replaced in this game.
Well, the thing that happened last week, as we look at the play, top left of your screen, number 79 is Harris Barton, right tackle. A little bit too soon. They're going to catch him there for offsides, but Briegel, fine young guy, third-year guy, just having a hard time. And then today, I don't care who you put over Jerome Brown, he's a man that's possessed. And we'll find out how Colley does. Colley's going to get some of it.
Well, they got Colley at left guard and McIntyre at right guard now. First down, 15. Rice starts in motion. Montana, it's tipped, incomplete. Mike Pitts, number 74. Montana started out to his right, and there was 92 right in his face.
Montana went up to the line of scrimmage and saw that 92 was over the center. He saw Reggie White over the center, and he said, if I'm going to throw the ball, the best way to get away from penetration in the center by the defensive tackles is to sprint out and get out, make the pocket go outside the tackle. That's what Montana did, but this time he had time to throw, but the ball was deflected.
Harry Sidney checks into the backfield, number 24, replacing Rathman. Second down and 15. Trips again. That'll go as a sack, and that's number 5 in the first half. And I think he got his feet mixed up with one of his guards for the second time. That's what caused them the safety the last time.
Well, let's find out. First of all, it was Colley at right guard. Now it's a new guard. It's McIntyre at right guard. Montana back, yes. He trips. Once again, looks like he trips on his own feet.
Yeah, he might have tripped on it.
He tripped on his own foot. His left foot kicked his right foot. Man, oh man, oh man.
and 22. 8:10 to go, first down. Right side for Rice. Overthrown. I heard you say, oh no.
I saw it. I saw Rice at him by 2 steps. And as accurate as Montana is on deep passes, the first thing I saw was, oh no. Oh no.
That's what the corner on the left side was saying. Oh no.
But isn't it funny? It's been the same situation, Vern. It's been 3rd and long, and every time now we have seen the Eagles go to a man coverage thinking, well, they're thinking we're going to play zone, and they're going man, and Montana sees it, and bingo, downtown they've been going.
Barry Hilton on to punt. Henry Williams waits for it at the 10. At the 8. Boy, that was close. He was within a whisker of a huge return. Wesley Walls, the rookie from Ole Miss, makes the tackle. A 20-yard return for Gizmo Williams, who returned 7 punts for touchdown during a career in Canada. 7:51 remaining in the first half. The Eagles have dominated in the last quarter and a half. They lead it 12-7 now. Myers out of the backfield. 4-man rush by the 49ers, and they get to Randall Cunningham. He is dropped at the 20. Charles Haley, number 94. That is the first sack of Cunningham today. There's Charles Haley. Watch him on the right side. He's up this time.
He's standing up. He said he likes to stand. He can see. Now, this is good pass coverage. No one is open. Cunningham goes to the right, goes back to his left, has to pull the ball back down again. And one of the keys for a quarterback that has a running ability, you're successful if you can make him bring the ball down, up, and then bring it down a second time. If you do that, then you got it.
That's the first sack of Cunningham. 2nd and 18. Deep left side. Flag is down. Quick. Dives for the ball in a battle with Don Griffin. No flag at the contact, but a flag thrown while the ball was in the air. Watch Ronnie Lott go back to help Don Griffin on this play. Here's the call. Holding. Defense. So that'll be a first down, Eagles.
Holding, number 49, defense, 5 yards, first down.
That is Jeff Fuller. Let's take a look now at Ronnie Lott.
Lott right in the center of your screen. Notice how he reads. Watch what happens at the snap of the ball. Back, 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 reading, 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 reading. Now he turns. He gets a little late to the outside, but his job, read the quarterback, break to where the ball's being thrown.
First down at 10. Cunningham slips, and then is tackled.
Gosh, I've never seen so many quarterbacks falling down at the line of scrimmage.
See if this is...
Let's see if, in fact, did Cunningham step on one of his linemen. Yes, yes. Ben Tamburello, the right guard, same thing happens to him. Notice his left foot as he steps on Cunningham's right foot. My gosh, who ever seen such? There's the play. There's the pull by the right guard. The timing. I never seen anything like that.
Not 2 in the first half.
No.
The difference being this one didn't cost the Eagles a safety. Into the flat. Heath Sherman dropped it. That could have been a lateral. No. No. The immediate signal by the side judge.
Yeah, but
incomplete pass.
But you know, the quarterback drop. There are 2 types of quarterback drops. There's one where you turn and open out with the right leg, but not most quarterbacks, Vern, take a hesitant step by pushing forward first and then back. Okay, if that was happening to these quarterbacks, I would say that's the reason for everyone being stepped, but they're not. Their feet are being stationary. They're just the guards are beating the quarterbacks.
Ever happened to you?
Maybe once or twice. I don't think very many.
Out of a shotgun. 3rd down. Cunningham. Left side, Myers. And Keena Turner was right in the path of Keith Byers, so the pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down. There's Keena Turner.
Well, I said it when the telecast started that this would be one of Cunningham's hardest games. He is going to have to search the field and find the one person that's single covered. That time it was quick, but he was covered deep. The only way for Cunningham to get his ball, get his passing game going now, because of the man coverage by the 49ers, they must start throwing crossing routes with their backs and tight ends.
John Pilchick back to punt. John Taylor waits for it. That is sky high. Taylor at the 25. And out of bounds at the 31-yard line. A 54-yard punt, 6 on the return, and William Frizzell forced him out of bounds. A booming kick by John Pilchick. It's 12-7. Eagles still lead. 6.5 to go first half.
The Everett to Ellert connection. The Montana to Rice Express. The NFC West takes to the sky next Sunday.
6:29 to go first half. Eagles leading the defending Super Bowl champions by 5, 12-7. It has been defensive pressure by the front four. That has been the key, and that man, Jerome Brown, with the big gains on the farm. To try and counteract his effectiveness, George Seifert has replaced Jeff Riegel at left guard with Bruce Colley. And Jerome Brown has been a real factor. Now Reggie White over Sapolo at center. Montana back, flips it left side for Taylor. Gets by Andre Waters and is down at the 40-yard line.
Well, looking at that matchup of Colley on Brown that time, and Colley did a fine job. Brown's hurt. Brown's down.
He bruised a thigh on the last series.
99 is Brown. That's Bruce Colley. Has him by himself. Does a good job of standing him up. Of the respect so far that Brown is commanding from the 49ers. Sapolo, the center, came over and helped out on Colley, but that time Colley didn't need the help. He did an excellent job of getting in front of Brown, squaring himself, and not allowing Brown a shoulder. Not a left shoulder, not a right shoulder, no lanes. Just faced him up and did a good job.
Brown bruised his right knee on the last series and then sat down for a while, came back in, and will stay in the game. Mike Golick came on to replace him. In the meantime, Wes Hopkins has gone to the Eagle locker room with an apparent injury. We'll check on that. Second down, less than a yard. 12-7. Eagles lead. Mike Barber, number 86, goes in motion. Montana for Jerry Rice, first down at the Philadelphia 47-yard line. Sammy Lilly, number 37, makes the tackle.
Yeah, that's another one of those quick passes. Montana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that ball's gone. Notice 86 Barber in motion. Now Montana comes out and he's keying the corner. Notice the corner moves to the right, and the minute he sees the corner, that time Sammy Little, 37, move out wide. He knew that Rice was inside of him, and he shot the ball in there to him.
Rice with 3 catches for 105 yards. He has the 49er touchdown. Montana bobbled and then caught on the rebound. Tom Rathman. Looked like the immaculate reception play of 1972.
Well, it wasn't quite that.
No, it certainly wasn't.
But
a poor man's version of it.
Rathman coming off catching 7 passes against Tampa, and when you talk to him, he loves to block. He says, yeah, I'd like to run, but understand my role. But he says, I'm really getting excited now about catching passes. That may be my way to get involved in this offense. I know Roger Craig's going to carry the ball running it. And here you see the deflected, the ball bounces out, and look who's there, Rathman.
Tom Rathman, who told us he never dropped a pass in the entire 1988 season. Roger Craig stacked up on the first down play. 4:20 to go in the first half. Just a quick summation of how we got to this point. The 49ers, a 68-yard touchdown pass, Montana to Rice on their first series of the ball game. Took a 7-0 lead. Eagles came back and tied it up 7-7 following a fumbled snap on a punt, so a short drive to make it 7-7. Then a safety made it 9-7, followed by a field goal to make it 12-7. From the 32, second and 10. Deep in the middle, Brent Jones, first and goal at the 9. The tight end who has replaced John Frank, who decided to retire. And Todd Bell with the tackle. There's a player down for the Eagles. It is Todd Bell.
Well, if Bell is unable, and let's just, if Bell has to go out of the game, now we've got Andre Waters, who was a holdout, and he lost his job to Bell because he stayed out. And now you're talking about the starting strong safety for the Eagles and the starting free safety, which would be Hopkins, both of them out. Now they cannot go to their dime package. If the 49ers should come out with 4 wide receivers, they can't go to a dime package. They don't have enough defensive backs. They can come in with 5, play a nickel. But if the 49ers spread 4 guys out, boy, they have put a load of pressure on these Eagles.
We do have an injury report on Wes Hopkins, who, as we said, went to the locker room. He pulled a groin muscle, and it is doubtful that he will be back in the game. And now Todd Bell, the other starting safety, is the player injured, having made the tackle on Brent Jones.
Yeah. As you look at the Giants doing the things, 2 undefeated teams, and you know, people think, well, they still have Eric Everett and they still have Sammy Little. Those are corners, and believe you me, playing cornerback and playing safety is a world apart. It's like playing a fullback or a halfback. It's really different. It's totally different, and I would say it would be a big disadvantage for the Eagles if they had to take one of these young kids off corner and put them at safety.
Todd Bell will trot off by himself. It'll be first down and goal for Buddy Ryan's team. That's Jeff Fisher just to his left, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. One of the things Jeff Fisher didn't want to have happen to his team this week, Vern, is he told us, we don't want to allow their tight end to get a clean release and go down the middle. We're going to jam him at the line of scrimmage and hold him up. That time they didn't do it on Brent Jones.
23-yard gain by Jones. First and goal, 49ers. 3:20 to go before halftime. Roger Gray. Al Harris, number 95, was up around the shoulders to knock him backwards after Reggie White had made the initial contact.
I tell you, Reggie White is just totally disrupting this whole blocking scheme of the 49ers. 92, center your screen. Sees look at the guard, shoot for him. He just gets out of the way. Ole gets into the backfield. Last week they said it was quickness that cost them down in Tampa. This week it looks like it's just strength. These guys are just big and strong.
Second and goal. Rice out of the backfield. Montana looks for Rice in the end zone. Tipped and incomplete. Isaiah Jenkins, number 46.
Excellent job by Jenkins. Montana came out, had 3 options in the flat. Then back inside, now he looks down and sees Wesley Walls, 89, open, but then beautiful job by Jenkins. He read it, saw Montana's eyes, and came back in and knocked the ball down. Great job.
Second-year man from North Carolina State. He was an 11th round draft choice a year ago. Isaiah Jenkins.
You got to look at the backs. Montana loves to throw option routes to his backs out of the backfield in this situation.
That's Craig in motion. Flag is down, so is Montana. And Jerome Brown and Reggie White are doing the celebrating.
Holding, number 61, offense, Ukon.
That's Jesse Sapolu, and he told us that he is a natural guard. He said, one of the things I've got to do is put on more weight. I got to put on more weight if I'm going to stay at center because of the size of these tackles. And that time, White, 92, just bull rushes him, engages Sapolu, and drives him back, beats him, and makes a sack of Montana.
That is 6 sacks of Joe Montana. Michael Cofer has hit 13 field goals in a row. Last year and this, he's 5 for 5 and 89. Bad snap. But somehow the hold was there. And Cofer gets his 14th straight field goal. What a terrific job by Barry Helton to get that ball ready for the kick.
And that should make the Eagles highlight film. As you look at Chuck Thomas, the center, the guy that comes in, the backup center, snaps for field goals, extra points. But that'll make Ryan's highlight film because he'll show that to Zendejas and say, see here, see what happened? Didn't bother this man. Poof, right down the middle.
12-10, and we've got more exciting action for you next Sunday on CBS, a doubleheader. Most of you will see Washington, New Orleans, and others will watch Tampa Bay, Minnesota. It all begins with the NFL Live at 12:30 Eastern Time. And then the second half of the doubleheader, the Giants against Dallas or the Rams against the 49ers. That's 4 o'clock Eastern Time. It begins with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time next Sunday on CBS. Giants doing a number on Phoenix so far.
Well, we're sitting at 2-11 in our ball game. So we had a little 2-minute drill on NFL today, which I thought was nice. And the quarterbacks that were featured were Joe Montana of the 49ers, and Randall Cunningham. So we're going to get a chance, I'm sure, to see at least one of them today.
Williams and Higgs are deep. Mark Higgs to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Chet Brooks, number 31. 2-minute warning. Boy, this has lived up to its expectations. A dandy ball game. Eagles lead by 2. Difference in the ball game now with 2 minutes to go first half. A safety when Joe Montana and Bruce Colley tripped each other. And that happened back in the first quarter. Right now 12-10, 2 minutes to go.
2-minute drill. Gentlemen, start your engines. Right before we came back on the air, the entire offense of the Eagles were stretching. Wide receivers, quarterback, stretching. Said, all right, what drill is this? 2-minute drill. Oh boy, oh boy.
4 wide receivers in a shotgun formation. Batted in the air, incomplete. It'll be second down. Randall Cunningham, 7 of 13. He hit 6 of his first 7 passes, so he's 1 of his last 6. And 58 yards.
Zones, everyone loves to play zones, and if you play zones against Cunningham, with a strong arm that he has, and as deep as his receivers like to run their routes against zones, you give up big yardage. You don't give up little yardage, you give up big chunks.
Second and 10. Fumble! Or yes, it was a forward pass. Dick Jorgensen, the referee, immediately signaled that Cunningham was moving forward with the ball.
That's Haley. One of the concerns the Eagles have. We have to keep our eyes on Charles Haley, number 94. Coming inside. There's one man right in his face, but Haley coming to the outside. That's the guy that they're going to put a man on and watch him all day long is Haley, 94. We've got to be concerned where he lines up.
That looked like Cunningham may have brought the ball back in and was starting to run. I don't know if that was a forward pass or not. And here's the draw play up the middle. And the Eagle fans, who are known throughout the land for their ability to verbalize their displeasure.
Well, the bad thing about this is that 2-minute drill took 15 seconds.
Right. Now
we get to say, gentlemen, start your engines and put it on the 49ers. But that time, the Eagles turned their engines off and said, we're not going to do anything.
Good college game yesterday. Michigan State and Notre Dame, and more CFA football for you next Saturday. It'll be Auburn against Tennessee at 2:30 Eastern Time. And here is a little-known fact. You are a huge fan.
Huge Tennessee fan. As a matter of fact, if I ever coached in my life, the only place I would want to coach, outside, of course, my alma mater, Louisiana Tech,
right,
would be the University of Tennessee. I just love the University of Tennessee. I love Johnny Majors. It's beautiful up there in Knoxville, Tennessee, and that place is exciting. And next week against Auburn, and that Slack, that great quarterback they have, and Cobb, that running back, hey, hang on.
That's next Saturday, 2:30. John Taylor is back to return. John Telchik's punt. Another dandy. Taylor has to get away from it. Did he touch it? No, he did not. It will be, Telchik says, hey, it hit John Taylor.
Well, you would expect the punter to be down there and say that he hit Taylor. The ball is a perfect spiral, and it turns over. When they turn over, they normally will roll away from the punter. Taylor gets out of the way. There's one of the backs. There it comes inside. Now, I didn't see his feet, but it looked like the ball landed short. Taylor's hollering that he was interfered with by Lilly, but that's not the case.
Donnie Hampton is the field judge who made the no call.
No.
And said it.
Well,
it did not hit John Taylor. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And here's Telchik who says, yes, it did. Didn't happen. 1:32 before halftime. Jerry Rice starts in motion. Montana for Craig. 49ers have all 3 of their timeouts left. See if they use one now or go with it. No huddle. They will not use one yet.
So that was a win for the Eagles. We're talking 5-yard gain. They'll give the 49ers those.
Montana out of bounds. That stops the clock with 1:05 to go before halftime.
See, one of the things that's happening is Montana, on his 2-minute offense, Vern, he will run what is a controlled 2-minute offense. 5-yard little pop, little cross, 7 yards, little option, 7 more yards, and then the little quick post. Whereas the Eagles on the other side will run deeper patterns, more exotic patterns, patterns that really light up the scoreboard, and they strike quicker. But the 49ers will drive it down meticulously.
Quick correction, the 49ers have 2 timeouts left, not all 3. 3rd and 5. Left side for Craig. Incomplete. 4th down. Eric Allen defending. Andre Waters over there. Well, these have not been the most exemplary 2-minute offenses I've ever seen.
And if you look at the clock, we're talking 50, what is that, 58 seconds? 58. We're talking both teams now. We're talking rapid 2-minute offenses because they both have been in and out.
I think
plays.
Montana and Cunningham forgot their conversation with Irv Cross in the NFL today.
Well, you don't always have successful 2-minute offenses. Come on, you know that. They're not always great. You don't always go down and win 90 yards, with a few seconds left.
Barry Helton will punt to this man, Henry Williams. At the 31-yard line. Tackle is made by Bill Romanowski. 17-yard return to the 49-yard punt. Time has been called. They're going. Out of the shotgun, 47 seconds remaining. Into the flat. Heath Sherman will try to get out of bounds. Doesn't. Now he does. Stops the clock with a first down at the 47. Remember back in the first quarter when Barry Helton and Andre Waters got into it. Barry Helton, the 49er punter, is having a long afternoon.
Well, he just had a long punt, and he's enjoying it probably a little bit too much. But one thing Barry has to know is that these guys are going to take a shot at him. And here comes number 94, Steve Kafusi, a backup defensive end, to get a little shot on the punter.
First down and 10, 39 seconds to go. 4-man rush on Cunningham. Caught. Mike Quick makes the grab and calls timeout at the 47-yard line of San Francisco 49ers. Eagles have 2 left. 32 seconds to go before halftime, and they lead by a couple. 32 seconds before halftime. Difference in the ball game thus far, a safety. Joe Montana tackled in the end zone. Other than that, both teams with 10 points. There's Ron Heller. Randall Cunningham, 9 of 16 now for 80 yards. Most of them have been short, controlled passes.
Right, and with the thing that the 49ers are giving Cunningham, they're giving him the outside, the short outside zone. He's hit 2 now. Stay with it. He's got 2 timeouts. Want to get the ball down to the 20-yard line for the field goal.
From the shotgun, no blitz again. 1 hopper at Mike Quick. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, but once again, the short outside pass. And if they're going to give them to you, you take them. And what they're doing, the 49ers, is actually they're playing into the hands of the Eagles because once their receivers catch the ball, they're already at the sideline, and they just walk out of bounds. They don't have to struggle to get there.
Jordan Seifert in his 3rd game as head coach of the 49ers. 3rd and 4, 28 seconds to go. Flag is down. If the play stands, which I doubt it will be a first down. Heath Sherman made the catch. But it looks like we might have a holding call on the Eagles.
Well, there's...
Yep.
Holding Looked like it was on the right guard again. Looked like I read the lips. 61, Ben Tamburello.
Holding, number 61. Offense, 10 yards, still third down.
Tamburello at right guard.
61, this is Ben right here. He's take the place of Ron Solt, who's been out with didn't pass his steroid test. That's about the best way to put it there. As you can see, he just puts his left arm around the defensive tackle's leg and tackles him. And so they call him for holding.
That wipes out what would have been a first down, makes it 3rd and 14 with 21 seconds to go. There's a bad snap. Flag is down. And all kinds of confusion on that play.
Yeah, that's sloppy 2-minute stuff here. This is not very good at all. It looked like Randall was still looking out to the outside, and the ball was snapped, and he wasn't ready for the ball, and so there's a miscommunication. Look at him.
There we go, substitution, number 86. There were 12 men on the field. Offense.
Left of your screen. Notice 86 is Greg Garrity. On the bottom of your screen, notice right there. There he is. He's not off, and the ball is in the air.
And so Cunningham was looking that direction. He wasn't ready for the snap. Here's Carter. This has not been pretty.
No, this has been ugly.
So
now you got a loss of down.
the penalty, yes, right.
You lost it down.
So it's 4th down.
4th down. So a silly mistake by a receiver who's supposed to be off the field. Get on off the, you don't dilly-dally around. It looked like Garrity was dilly-dallying around. As well, is it me? Is it not me? And then he finally went off. But the center that time, David Alexander, he snapped the ball too soon, it looked like, because it looked as though the Cunningham wasn't ready for the ball. Garrity wasn't off the field, lost it down. They got a punt now.
John Kelchick, 5th punt. And that's another good one. John Taylor with a fair catch at the 19. Coming up at halftime, just 10 seconds from now, Brandon Irv with all the scores and highlights and the latest information. And Pat O'Brien has a moving story of Kansas City rookie linebacker Derek Thomas, whose father is still listed as missing in action in Vietnam. All of that at halftime, and we're just 10 seconds away as we go back to our New York studios for Brandon Irv with scores and highlights. 12-10 our score. Montana hit Rice with a 68-yard touchdown pass in the first series of the game. But it has been a Philadelphia defense that has gotten to Montana 6 times. That has been the outstanding feature of the first 30 minutes of the ball game. 12-10. Harry Sidney will run it up to the 27-yard line, and time will expire. Philadelphia at halftime as they lead the defending world champions. They tied it up 7-7 and went on top with a safety and a field goal. That's the end of the first half with our score: Eagles 12 and the 49ers 10. Halftime with the Eagles leading the 49ers 12-10. The difference right now is the safety, and the curious thing about that safety is that it occurred when Joe Montana and Bruce Colley got tripped up with their feet. Terry's going to demonstrate how quarterbacks try and back away from center.
Well, I think it would be simple. First of all, let me apologize, folks, for the way this looks up here, but this is kind of the way we work and takes a lot of wires and whatnot. But simplest thing in football, and one of the basic things, is the quarterback exchange and then the turnout to drop back, and everyone opens up like this to drop back and pass unless you're left-handed. What's happening today, here are the basic ways you do it. Number one, you snap the ball, you receive it, you keep this firm, and you pivot out like this. The second way is a right-handed pass. You snap, you step with your left foot, then back, then open up. It's just a reflex. I did it this way. I snapped, I stepped with my right foot, then I came back and pushed out. And what looks like is happening today is that as the snap is coming, as the ball is hitting the quarterbacks, their legs are not moving. The guards are beating them to the snap. Thus, the legs, their feet are getting stepped on by their guards. And when they come back, they can't get out of their way.
Take a look at it from the end zone. Here's Joe Montana trying to get back from the 2-yard line, and watch Bruce Colley's left foot.
Notice his left foot and his right foot are both square. He doesn't move either one. He opens up with his body first, leaves his legs in position. Thus, that split second that he did not move his legs, Joe that is, allowed the right guard Collie to step on it. You move, and everybody has to move in sequence. Everything right off the bat, it didn't happen. And we've seen this 3 times now in the first half.
2 for Montana, once for that man, Randall Cunningham. And that trip in the end zone was a partial cause of the safety. Randall Cunningham, 9 of 17 in the first half. He and Montana, this is their first meeting. Montana 13 of 19 and Cunningham 9 of 17. 68 of those 191 yards for Montana came on the touchdown toss to Jerry Rice that gave the 49ers a momentary 7-0 lead. Michael Kofer will kick off. 6 sacks. Montana. He had been sacked 7 times in the first 2 games. And their average rush, 1 foot so far. Total yards, 165 to 103. You made the point, Terry, that they both kept it very conservative in the first half.
We didn't see a lot, and you have to blame that on the defenses. The defenses are so quick in getting back to the quarterback. They're not allowing the routes to develop. Thus, everything has to be quick, little quick passes. And that's what we've seen. You don't have the flamboyant routes, play action, everybody going all over the field. It's been real quick stuff so far.
Nice kickoff by Kofer, so the Eagles will start with a touchback at their own 20 after Henry Williams downs it. Randall Cunningham, player of the week in the NFC last week with a 447-yard, 5-touchdown effort against the Redskins. More modest figures at halftime today, 9 of 17 for 80 yards. They go into the wind, and it's not a strong breeze, but a slight breeze here in the third quarter. Quick opener. Heath Sherman scoots over right guard and center. And Charles Haley makes the tackle.
Look at the eyes of Charles Haley, outside linebacker. Sometimes down, this time he's up. Says that going inside and getting down last year was more fun because it was new to me, being in a 3-point stand. So now it's boring. It's lost its newness.
David Little at tight end for the Eagles on the left side. Heath Sherman on the first down play out to the 36. Keith Jackson, rookie of the year a year ago, was banged up when he made a catch down near the goal line to set up the first Eagle touchdown. And he is not on the field right now. We'll get an injury report for you.
It looks like what the Eagles want to do in their running game, Vern, is come out with quick stuff. If you have quick defensive linemen, then you don't need slow developing running plays. You come out with quick plays, and the first 2 running plays of the Eagles have been quick plays.
That's Little in motion, number 89. Quick toss, Heath Sherman. Out near the 39-yard line, it'll bring up third down. Anthony Toney, the starting fullback, is on the inactive list with a bad knee. So Heath Sherman, the rookie, getting his first NFL start today.
We expected Heath Sherman to be the man blocking for Byers. Actually, what the Eagles were planning was to have Sherman at fullback and put Byers at tailback. But right now, it looks as though they're going to feature Sherman, and then Hicks has come in to block for Sherman, a smaller version of Byers.
Ronnie Lott, the free safety, looks over at the defense. Shotgun. Blitz. Pat Darwin with a good block. Almost picked off Don Griffin. Excellent defensive job on Mike Quick.
That's a case now where Cunningham, when he got outside the pocket, had his man covered. He could have run for the first down. There's a blitz up the middle. Done an excellent job by his backs picking it up. Now Cunningham will be forced out. Out of the pocket, he looks downfield, was going to run, pulls it back up and throws the football.
Daniel Stubbs was the only thing that was between Randall Cunningham and a first down. It's fourth down now. The Eagles, John Telchik back to punt. Fake. He's got all kinds of room. First down. Yards on the fake punt. John Telchik.
This is a run all the way. This This is a run all the way. And the reason the outside men who normally run down to cover the punt came inside, brought the coverage inside, allowing Telchik the room to run to the outside. That was a run all the way.
One of those who came inside was Wesley Walls, number 89. He got caught upfield. And John Telchik, who's one of the better athletes on this team, picks up 24 yards in the first down. Mark Higgs, draw play, first down at the 24. Michael Walter with a tackle.
Draw plays are a deception play. They illustrate to the defense that this is going to be a pass. They drop off, the linebackers drop off in coverage. That allows the lineman to get down, to get in position, and then you hand the ball off, and then you have the run.
That's a first down. Philadelphia, they lead at 12-10, 12-17 to go. In the third quarter, first down at the 49-24. David Little starts right. Toss. And Higgs comes left, runs off a tackle, and is down at the 19. And Randall Cunningham thrusts his fist in the air in appreciation of the effort by the second-year back out of Kentucky.
I'll tell you, the great job initially was done by Haley, 94. Notice as he comes out across, he'll get off the block. There's a good block. Now he gets up, gets his man on him, but Higgs is so short, so strong, he breaks Haley's tackle. Second effort, down 20-yard line, 15-yard line.
Second down, 5. Little again in motion. He fires. They work on the right side down to the 16-yard line. That is short of the first down. It's a 12-10 ball game. This is the opening series of the second half. And a 24-yard fake punt. A run with the ball by John Telchik helped propel the Eagles to this spot. Now Jimmy Giles and Ken Reeves come in the lineup. We were told there's nothing wrong with Keith Jackson, but he remains on the bench. And he did take a knee in the rib cage back in the first half of play. Third and 2. Drop play. Sherman. That should be enough for a first down.
One of the things that Buddy Ryan wanted to get accomplished this year, he felt as though he had to establish a running game. He said, if we're going to be a complete football team, we must be able to run the football. Opening game, they ran for 133 yards. Last week, less than 30 yards. And now today, they're doing what Buddy Ryan wants. If the passing is not there, you must be able to run. And now the Eagles are establishing their run.
From the 13, first down. Sprint draw, Mark Higgs. And that's the second time they've run the play. This time, not with obvious success. Terry, one of the things I find interesting, you think that in the offseason, the superstars work with the superstars. Yet, when Mark Higgs, in his second year out of Kentucky, signed as a Plan B free agent, he and Randall Cunningham and Henry Williams went out to a local park and worked on passing drills over and over.
Well, he wasn't a good receiver coming out of college. He said all he ever did was run, and Cunningham took him out and made him catch the football with his hands.
Second down, 5-man rush. Blitz, they got him. Pierce Holt, number 78. Charles Haley, number 94.
See, one of the things that is confusing as a blocker is Haley. See, Haley is a man that when it's a 3 down, 94th end of the line of the scrimmage, when he's down like this, is he an end or is he a linebacker? Notice that the back went to the right. When the back goes to the right, that means they're taking a guard and going that side to protect the quarterback, which frees up the other linebacker. This case, it was Haley. And they told us coming in, they wanted to take the back to Haley's side. They did in that time.
Third sack of Cunningham. It's third down and 20 from the 23. Blitz again. Cunningham with a play fake. And it'll be fourth down at the 17-yard line. Pete Kugler, number 67, finally made the tackle. And here comes Luis Zendejas. He has kicked 1 of 35 yards today. And John Telchik will be the holder. David Alexander, the center.
You know, very few teams, if any, other than our Steeler team, have run traps on blitzes. Very few teams blitz or run plays against blitzes. That time was a rare exception to see a blitz, but the running back was Randall Cunningham.
High snap again. But Telchik gets the ball down, and Zendejas is good for the second time today from 35 yards out. It was John Telchik's run with a fake punt that set up the field goal. A really spectacular fall afternoon here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 15-10. The Eagles take the opening kickoff of the second half. And a 35-yard field goal. Michael Carter, this is moments ago. Head injury of some sort, a slight concussion, we are now told. So the ice bag goes on the head, and he stays on the bench. And now Zendejas, who has kicked 2 field goals, will kick it deep. Spencer Tillman, number 23, is joined back there by Terrence Flagler, number 32. And again, it's a fine kick. It will be brought out. Flagler out to the 21-yard line. Now let's check what's going on elsewhere in the National Football League. Back to our New York studios. Here's Brent.
Vern, here's a magnificent run by Neil Anderson of the Chicago Bears. Anderson and Barry Sanders of the Lions are having quite a duel. This is the longest scoring run of the year, 53 yards. Now, Anderson has rushed for 100 yards for Chicago. Sanders 126 for the Lions, and the Lions are hanging tough. Now let's go back to Vern.
All right, Brent, 15-10 here. A good ball game going on in Philadelphia. 8:10 to go, third quarter. 49ers' first offensive set of this half. Montana, who has been sacked 6 times, chased by Simmons and Pitts, and is out of bounds. And if he lost a yard, that'll be another sack. No, it's going to be counted as a run.
Well, there's the pressure again, and you know what has happened now? These two defenses have dictated to these two explosive offenses and have virtually taken away all the great things that they do. Montana wants to get the quick passing off, but the tackles of the Eagles have not allowed him to do that. Well, we have to look now for Montana to do the sprint out stuff and go throw one to one side of the field.
Montana changing the play. Jeff Grugel is back at left guard and Colley in right guard. So they're back to the original offensive line. Deep left side. Double coverage. Incomplete. Flag is down. And the flag is back at the line of scrimmage. Andre Waters and Eric Allen defending. And it's against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Holding, number 46, defense, 5 yards, first down.
Izell Jenkins.
Izell, there's the outside move by Rice, then the inside, there's the right hand on Rice. The ball now is up in the air, it's gone, but Jenkins had his hands on Rice, past the 5-yard, that's the chuck area. You can't do that. They'll throw a flag for holding every time.
Third penalty against the Philadelphia Eagles for 25 yards. First and 10, 15-10 is the score. Roger Craig. Mike Pitts, number 74, with a tackle.
Boy, I tell you, it really puts a lot of pressure on a quarterback, regardless of how good he is. And Montana's a certain Hall of Famer, but you have got to be able to run the football, and today they have not been able to establish any running game whatsoever, which puts more pressure on Montana, and he has not had enough time. With the exception of the 68-yard touchdown pass, there's been virtually no passing offense whatsoever by the 49ers.
Second down, 9. Blitz. Flag. Tom Rathman, this will be called back. And by the way, that was nearly the 8th sack because the first play of this series was called a sack on Montana. This will be holding. And lip readers around the country just understood what George Seifert said.
Well, George Seifert has every right to be upset with his offensive line because I don't care how great your players are. At the skill positions, wide receivers, running backs, quarterback, if you don't have guys that can block.
Number 61, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That is Jesse Sapolo, who is replacing Randy Cross. Said Bob McKittrick, the offensive line coach, told him in the offseason he wanted him to move, and he wasn't real fond of it initially.
He wasn't happy about it because he felt like he was the starting left guard in the pro. There is 61, left hands out over White. 6 holding calls last week against the Buccaneers.
2nd and 19. Reverse, Jerry Rice, chased by Mike Pitts and Clyde Simmons. And now some help from Al Harris. And back at the 6-yard line, Jerome Brown is injured and is down on one knee. He bruised a knee in the first half.
You know, reverses are great against teams that are hot in pursuit, Vern. But another thing you have to think about, when do you run reverses? If you run them in the second half, a lot of times the players are too tired to chase the guy reversing it. So they just say, oh, heck, he'll be back here in a minute, and they stay back. There's your reverse. And look at all the people that are back there waiting on the reverse. There's Al Harris, 95. He's in hot pursuit. Or Simmons, 96. Nothing.
Third and 16. 6:43 to go. This place has become cacophonous during the timeout. Montana back. Deep right side. Incomplete for Mike Wilson. 4th down. During the timeout, Jerome Brown walked off by himself and is on the bench. And in partial response to his health, which is good, the crowd began to applaud, and then Terry, it just kind of evolved throughout the stadium and really got noisy.
Yeah, when you're looking at 92, White, and one of the things that happened that time was Reggie White got out there and he was stirring the fans up. So while Brown was getting a standing ovation, White was encouraging with the hand signals. And so
Helton, 5-punt. Henry Williams at the 32. Flags are down. And Barry Helton, the punter, continues to have a long afternoon.
Well, there's Helton, number 9. There's a little shy. That's a little frustration. Now, there's Waters. There's Waters again. Helton's got to go, gee, many Christmas. What is it with me?
Illegal block during the run back, 52, receiving team. 10 yards, first down.
That's Jesse Small, the rookie from Eastern Kentucky, one of 4 draft choices. There's Andre Waters. Can you believe he was wearing a T-shirt that said, "Cuddle up, puppy love"? 15-10, Eagles lead at 6:26 to go. 3rd quarter, first down on their 2nd offensive set of this half. Jimmy Giles, the veteran tight end, is in there now. Tossed to Mark Higgs, and he's down to the 35. Go back and watch Barry Helton again, and watch the effort of Andre Waters, who is the special teams leader today. Barry Helton, number 9, and Waters, number 20, Terry.
Yeah, there's the hit. Now, that's after Helton had punted the football. Now, where did Waters go? He got his one shot in. Just keep your eye on him, right in the center, bottom of your screen. 20. Now he's down there. Now he gets another block. You know, he's lost his starting job at strong safety, and he said, I'll have to make my impact known on special teams.
On the half roll, Cunningham. Chris Carter makes the catch. That's short of the first down at the 41. Darrell Pollard, number 26, makes the tackle. Pollard, who is replacing the injured Tim McKyer at the left cornerback spot. 3rd-year man out of Weber State.
Yeah, you know, Vern, these guys have really escaped so far in this game being tested. I'm talking about the corner there in Pollard. One of the things I look to happen in the second half is that I look for this quarterback Cunningham to get out of the pocket and get outside and really move the offense and put it in a moving pocket, because dropping back, they have not had any success whatsoever.
Nickel defense in now for the 49ers. 5-man rush. Quick pass outside. The catch is made and a flag is down. It's Ron Johnson, number 85, with his first catch of the season. Now let's see if the play stands.
Holding, number 49, defense, decline. First down.
That's on Jeff Fuller, who has also lost his starting spot. Giants continue to roll over Phoenix. Washington leading Dallas by 10 in the third quarter. And Chicago has increased its lead over Detroit to 10 points now. And Pittsburgh continues to lead Minnesota. A shocker that would be. Seattle rolling over New England by 21. Cunningham back. Here comes Haley. Cunningham from Carter, incomplete. Chet Brooks doing the defensive job deep right side. And Brooks and Carter talking with each other now. And Chris still looks back at Chet Brooks. Here's Randall Cunningham.
Cunningham this year has more options than ever in running the offense. He practiced running, calling his own plays during preseason, but the Eagles were trying to establish a running game, and he said, I didn't really get as much out of calling plays because I was unable to utilize the entire offense.
Blitz. Cunningham with a play fake. Flags are down, so's Cunningham. Pete Kugler, who has replaced the injured Michael Carter, made the tackle, number 67.
Looks to me like when Cunningham got outside, Pollard, the cornerback, realized he was beaten.
Holding, number 26, defense, back on 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Yeah, what happened, Pollard said, oh my gosh, I'm beaten. Put the hands on the receiver and try to hold him up. Cunningham, had he seen it, would have been able that time, Vern, to throw the ball up because the man was well beyond Darryl Pollard that time.
That's a 16-yard gain plus 5 yards for the penalty. First down at the 28. David Alexander over the ball. He's got Shad and Tamburello at guards, Heller and Darwin at tackles. Randall Cunningham back. Haley comes. Cunningham off balance. Knocked away by Darryl Pollard down at the 4. Intended for Chris Carter. And funny, we hadn't mentioned Darryl Pollard's name all afternoon, and now the last 3 plays he's been a significant factor.
Yeah, I know as a quarterback, if I knew that a team was losing, has lost 2 of its starters, I'm going to promise you right now, because I called them on plays and it made a difference. But I'm going to find out, number 1, what kind of courage this guy has. Number 2, can he cover deep? That's the first 2 things I'm going to find out. And in one of those, I'm going to get an answer. And if he can't cover deep, then he's mine. I'm going to send Swan and Stallworth and Smitty and everybody, and I'm going to wear him out.
Second and 10. Jimmy Giles, number 83, in motion. And that play didn't do much. Heath Sherman, number 23, is tackled. Under 4 minutes now to go, third quarter.
So one of the options that Cunningham has, if he doesn't like a play, he can change it. But it has to be within a framework. He just can't get up there and call anything he wants. He can make adjustments on that one play at the line of scrimmage. But what he can do, he can change the formations. He can wig-wag his tight ends, his backs, his receivers. He can do any type of motion he wants on that one play.
Third and 8 from the 49er 27. Incomplete. Carter came in. Cunningham threw it to the right side. And we'll see Luis Zendejas for the 3rd time. Carter and Cunningham talk about it now.
Now Carter came inside. Carter's at the top of your screen. Notice the quick inside. Carter, number 80. He comes inside. Cunningham threw it to the outside. What they have is a hook and slide. The hook inside, stop, and slide back out. Cunningham was expecting Carter to go back out, and Carter stayed with the hook.
44-yard effort by Zendejas. Good center this time. Perfect. It's an 18-10 Philadelphia lead over the defending world champions. The conversation continues on the bench with Randall Cunningham and Chris Carter. Jimmy Giles and Matt Cavanaugh sort of eavesdropping, but I'm sure they are talking about the pass route. the mix-up. And now Zendejas, who has kicked 3 field goals today, as well as have his kickoffs go very deep, is ready to kick off yet again. Harry Sidney lets it go. It bounces off Flagler. Picks it up with a lucky bounce. Flag is down. That ball will come way back. Flagler is tackled at the 38, but it's going to be back inside the 20. An illegal block against the 49ers. Yep. And that happened about the 21-yard line.
Well, when nothing's been working offensively, you need special teams to come through, and you don't need penalties after great returns like that.
Number 53, receiving team, 10 yards, first down.
Bill Romanowski. David Alexander had been criticized by Buddy Ryan for centering high. Watch this perfect center by Alexander on the Zendejas field goal. And that's from 44 yards out. John Pilchick's hole was perfect, and watch now. Zendejas starts off and then turns around and recognizes the effort at number 72. So they got it together. Montana. Catch made at the 21. Jerry Rice in front of Isaiah Jenkins.
Well, when you are a great quarterback and a great receiver, you're not always going to have things go your way. Rice, look at it. Isaiah Jenkins all over Rice. Rice makes a good move coming back. And then he has to deal with Waters over top, and then Jenkins back once again. The real key, I think, to the 49ers, and Montana knows this well, he too is going to have to utilize his athletics, get outside, use his skills, and throw the football outside of the pocket. Audible.
Across the middle, picked off. Al Harris.
Montana made an audible, and the ball was intended for Rice. But number 21, Eric Allen, gets his hands all over Rice and throws him to the ground. The ball is not in the air. Montana has to pull the ball back and then tries to go to his secondary. Notice he pulls it back. He says, okay, he's covered. There's my secondary guy. Throws it behind him, and Al Harris, number 95, makes a whale of an interception.
Brent Jones, the intended secondary receiver. Heath Sherman, what a defensive play. Oh, boy.
That's Chet Brooks. Yeah, another strong safety. The thing that's so good about that play is I know now that I say, okay, Chet Brooks, you're up on the end of the line of scrimmage. I see you. That's great. I'm going to play action right at you. You come firing across, I'll hit a quick slant behind you, and I'll break you from doing that.
Al Harris with his first interception of the season. And, of course, it was Harris who had the huge fumble recovery last week in Washington that resulted in Wes Hopkins' 77-yard return. Three-man rush. Cunningham.
Oh, here comes the flag. They're going to get a roughing the quarterback. Roughing, late hit on the quarterback.
Personal foul. 49ers.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 42 defense. Half the distance, first down.
Roughing is called on Ronnie Lott, the free safety. Cunningham looks over the coverage. No one is open, and now he does what he does better than anyone in the National Football League. He runs with the ball. He's down. Once you go down, and then Ronnie Lott came up late, regardless of how hard he hit him, folks, you just can't do it. You just can't do it. There he is. He's down. He's clearly down. Lott puts his shoulder. There's the flag.
First and goal. Into the flat. Greg Garrity. at the 1-yard line.
Garrity is called trash. And the reason they call him trash is because if you throw it high behind him, beyond him, below him, he goes down and scoops up anything thrown in his direction. Thus the nickname trash.
Greg Garrity's first touchdown catch in the NFL was also Terry Bradshaw's last touchdown pass in the NFL against the Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I guess you say, do I have a memory of any one for a player? It would be Garrity because he did catch my last touchdown pass.
Up the middle, Sherman. That's a loss. And it may be the last play of the third quarter.
That's one of those up the middle type thing, Vern. And once again, why not get Cunningham out wide? Why not use this guy at his best? Give him an option. Let him get outside, run or pass.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score, the Eagles 18 and the 49ers 10. We now pause for a word from your local station. We begin the final quarter from Philadelphia. 3rd and goal from the 3. Eagles up 18-10. Play fake. Cunningham still has it. Wants to throw. Has Sherman open. Incomplete. Chet Brooks knocked it away. 4th down. Brooks had to make a quick recovery because Sherman was out there all by himself for quite some time.
Yeah, the thing that happened is that Cunningham couldn't lead the ball back for fear that if it was intercepted, it was gone all the way. If there's an interception by Brooks right here, then he can be tackled. So he either threw it over his head or leads him back. That time he tried to throw it over his head, which was the right call, the right place to throw it.
Zendejas, again, he's kicked 3 today. Oh, he just did get that inside the right upright. But he's 4 for 4. The Eagles have increased their lead. It's 21-10, but they got there the hard way. 49ers got a big play to open the game, a 68-yard pass. Since that time, Luis Zendejas with 4 field goals. The 49ers with 8 rushing yards. The dominant factor in this game, no question about this, has been that 46 defense of Buddy Ryan.
Yeah, the defense has just been outstanding, and the thing that's happened is no running game whatsoever by the 49ers. 0 running attack, all the pressure on the passing attack, and now the tackles for the Philadelphia Eagles and Reggie White have just played tremendous today, and Montana just does not have time to get his game going because, number one, he does well. He works better now off of his running game than he used to because he never did have one. Today he doesn't have one either.
It will be returned. Flagler flags down again. And when you see it fly in that direction, it's usually against the returning team, the receiving team. See if that's the case here.
Well, when Buffalo played Denver, they came out in the second half and went strictly to a 2-minute offense to try to get back in their game against Denver. Now we're in the 4th quarter of this game with Montana desperately needing 2 touchdown drives, and now we've got to expect him to pull off the magic. We're used to it. We're spoiled by it. We expect it. Same thing with Cunningham. Without a running attack, with this defense playing the way it's playing, inspired, and plus...
block, number 59, receiving team, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
And plus, being the defending Super Bowl champions, man, it just makes it that much harder. And they're on the road.
On the road for the 3rd consecutive week. Craig out of the backfield. Montana in the flat for Roger Craig. That's good for a gain to the 15-yard line. Andre Waters makes the tackle, number 20. 49ers in this half have had the ball for 3 minutes. Philadelphia 12-14.
Yeah, well, it just tells you 2 things. Number one, Philadelphia's had long drives, which they haven't, but the 49ers cannot convert their third downs at all. And then they have the mistakes, the interception, the penalties on their special teams. Nothing in the second half is going right for them.
4 wide receiver set now for the 49ers. Harry Sidney in as the back. Montana finds Harry Sidney, and that's a first down out of the 25-yard line. Seth Joyner, number 59, makes the tackle. Seth Joyner, who wants to be a television sports cameraman when his professional career is over, and he's threatened to grab hold of one of our handheld cameras if they have a big enough lead to show us how good he is already.
Yeah, he's a good in our business from a different perspective.
One of the few guys who doesn't want to get up here and join you.
Yeah,
or join me.
He can have my camera.
First and 10. Roger Craig double teamed and down. Andre Waters, Todd Bell, and Wes Hopkins, the starting safeties, both remain on the bench with injuries. So Waters and Frizzell are back there now. Clyde Simmons, the silent one up front.
Well, Simmons is alone. He's the man to the outside, 96. Brown, as you can see, Parrish has a good shot, says, I've got my eyes on you, White. But now 96 Clyde Simmons, who's being singled, only one man on him. He could become a guy that could play a very important role now in the fourth quarter for the Eagles.
4 wide receivers set for the 49ers. Blitz. Montana gets rid of it. John Taylor. He's flying. There are no flags down. Touchdown. 70 yards. Montana never saw it. He remained on his back after the pass had been completed.
Well, the thing we said earlier is that Taylor could be a big part in this game. We knew Rice was going to get double covered, but they caught him with a blitz early to Rice. Another blitz this time. Montana holds his ground and just dumps it in the flat. Poor tackling there. Isaiah Jenkins, beautiful move by Taylor. My gosh. And then the speed of Taylor down the sideline. Simple little pass, but when you have the perfect call against the perfect defense, no matter what you do, you can't stop it.
Reggie White got to Joe Montana, and then the two of them stayed down. And Joe Montana was in that position when John Taylor crossed the goal line. So touchdown tosses now from Joe Montana of 68 and 70 yards. Gopher's kick is good, and just like that, it's 21-17.
Yeah. You got to ask yourself, why? Why blitz? Why not make them take 10 minutes off the clock and drive it down? Don't blitz and give up the cheap touchdown. They did.
In the face of the blitz, John Taylor catches the pass from Joe Montana, 70 yards for the touchdown. His first touchdown of this year, but who will forget the touchdown in the Super Bowl that gave the 49ers the world championship last year. 4 catches now, 91 yards.
Well, we said earlier, he was a guy that could have a big day, and you forget about Taylor. You forget about him because you respect Rice so much, but then he hits you with a big one.
How about the kick by Michael Kofer? Put that one down there, 75, 80 yards.
Well, now let's turn this ball game over a little bit. Now let's look at it from a strategy standpoint. What do? Do you come out now as the Eagles, and do you try to establish a running game, which, other than the draw, the sprint draw, that's about the only play that's been successful? Or do you go back and you try to run? One of the things that's really hurt Randall Cunningham today has been he has not had Jackson in there, and Jackson is a great 5-6 yard kind of guy. He catches it, he breaks tackles. He hasn't had him in there.
Again, Keith Jackson on the bench with a rib injury. That happened back in the first half. He caught 3 before that. Mark Higgs, number 22, who did not rush for a single time last year with the Dallas Cowboys.
You see why Buddy talked about establishing a running game, and I'll explain why it's so important. Because you have not had a great day throwing the football. Credit the 49ers for that. You need a running game to put a team away in the fourth quarter. You need a drive of 8 minutes, of 9 minutes, and score to put a team away. If you can't run the football, then you have to do it throwing. When you throw it, too many bad things happen.
Second down and 6. Cunningham dropped at the 40. David Little. And one wonders again at the absence of Keith Jackson, who's on the bench with a rib injury.
Yeah, David Little's got fine hands, excellent receiver, but Jackson is an all-pro, rookie of the year. And as a quarterback, when I give a young man an opportunity to catch the ball in a crucial game and he drops it, I have to say, that's okay. Don't worry about it, David. But in my mind, way back in my mind, I go, this situation comes up again. I'm not sure that I want to go to him. I'm not sure. He dropped my last one, even though he is a fine receiver.
3rd down and 6. 4 wide receivers in for Cunningham. Blitz coming. Cunningham gets rid of the ball, and Jeff Fuller is the closest man to it. And Chris Carter is a little exasperated. He was the intended receiver, and he started jumping up and down after the ball had gone by. And he and Cunningham misfired on a pass back in the 3rd quarter. There's Chris Carter, who had such a big day a week ago.
Yeah, well, it's not Carter's fault, it's not Cunningham's fault, but the 49er defense is just outstanding, not allowing Cunningham the time to set up and roam the field and pick out the single guy. He's having to do everything out of desperation.
John Telchik. That's a short punt. And it bounces back the 49er way.
Oh, hit a
49er on the head. That should be Philadelphia ball. It is. It hit him right on the helmet. Bill Romanowski, the linebacker, was not looking, and it hit him in the helmet.
Vern, what happened? When the ball was punted, it went straight up. The nose of the ball went straight up, and on the way down, the bottom of the ball went forward, and the top of the ball went backwards, which means the ball will come back to the punter. It did indeed do that, and hit a 49er right there. I believe that's Bill Romanowski, right on the top of the helmet.
And went right into the arms of Henry Gizmo Williams. 3rd 49er turnover. And a first down to 50. Cunningham misfires, trying to find David Little.
Just great pressure, great coverage by the 49ers. Doing the things, I think, the Eagles, that is, getting Cunningham outside. But coverage is there, and the support is there. And that's amazing that you can cover downfield and still have enough support on Cunningham not to allow him to run with the football.
Boy, does he have modest numbers for today. 12 of 28 for 99 yards, and he hit 6 of his first 7 passes. He fires. Dropped at the 41, short of the first down. Chet Brooks makes the tackle. That's his 6th defensive tackle.
Now we know that there is a reverse in the Eagles' arsenal, and I often think in a game as close and as energy-packed as this game might be, that you go to your grab bag offense and occasionally say, let me think, what haven't I shown in the last year? The reverse. So in the back of my mind, maybe it takes something special like that to get the Eagles in the end zone.
This time they go with a double tight end set. Heath Sherman, that's a first down, and the ball was ruled down. There is no fumble, and Jim Fondhorst slams the ball into the ground in exasperation. There's Sherman.
Now he's clearly down. One of the things, you know, as a quarterback, you have to protect. You know, you tell your lineman, all right, blow these guys off the ball, and then you're caught. Say, it's a catch-22. Do I tell them, don't fumble? Because if you do, then they fumble. So if I don't tell them, then maybe they won't realize it's important they hang on. So you're kind of caught in the middle.
First down at the 36, 21-17. Sherman out of the tackle. And he gets down to the 33-yard line. Pierce Holt, number 78, makes the stop. 11:05 to go. Heath Jackson stays on the bench with that rib injury. Took a Ronnie Lott knee in his back in the first half. There's Reggie White, number 92. And Keith Jackson right in front of him.
There's Keith Jackson. I don't notice any ice or anything on his ribs, so it's hard to say.
2nd and 7. Jimmy Giles. 1st and goal at the 1. Jimmy Giles, unprotected this year, signed with the Raiders, released, came back right before the regular season.
55, Jim Feinhorst has Giles. Giles gets a clean release, and the ball is thrown right by Feinhorst. Feinhorst has excellent coverage. His problem is when Giles turns around to look in the football, Feinhorst didn't respond to his eyes. Look at Jackson. He said, yeah, he said, my man, Giles. Yeah.
Jimmy Giles, a 31-yard grab. Keith Byers hit behind the line. Jet Brooks again got through and made first contact.
See, that's a great call. Not that play there, but the pass to Giles. Number one, Giles has been an older veteran, guy that you say, if we're going to double someone, we're not going to double him. He's not the guy that's going to hurt us. So the unusual, the least expected player to catch a pass would have been Giles, and the guy that you have a perfect matchup on would have been Feinhorst. Excellent throw by Cunningham.
Giles, as we said, is 34 years old, 13-year veteran, released by the Raiders and re-signed by the Eagles just before the last preseason game. Trap play. Heath Sherman. Michael Walter with the tackle. That's unofficially 10 for him, and Cunningham looks at the bench.
Yeah, that's the same play that was scored on earlier in the first half by the Eagles. But now you would think, and the fans are booing, they're saying, get Cunningham out. Hey, let our guy get outside and run past. But the last time they did this, the ball could have been intercepted by Chet Brooks because they cut off Cunningham's ability to pass and to run. Now what do you do? It's a guessing game.
Third and goal from the 3. Touchdown, Jimmy Giles.
A straight drop back. Unusual to do a drop back from the 5-yard line. Unusual. You can't do a lot other than this. Fight to get open. And Giles stayed inside, fought, released outside. Beautiful throw by Cunningham.
High snap. Delchick gets it down. Zendejas kicks it through. It's 28-17, and Randall Cunningham drilled with the catch by the 14-year veteran Jimmy Giles. 8:24 to go in the ball game. The Eagles counter the San Francisco 70-yard touchdown with an unusual drive of their own. On a punting circumstance, the ball hits Bill Romanowski in the back of the head. Henry Williams recovers. They've got a first down at the 50. A 31-yard pass to Jimmy Giles sets up a first and goal. And then Giles with the touchdown catch. Here's Flagler out of the end zone. Down at the 25. Jimmy Giles.
Jimmy, one of the great tight ends in the early part of his career, especially when he was in Tampa, made the Pro Bowl. Great hands, traded up to Detroit and Oakland, listen to me.
Raiders.
And now here with Philadelphia.
Maybe Oakland soon.
Yeah. Oakland, probably Sacramento, who knows?
First down and 10. John Taylor comes left. Jerry Rice is right. The defending Super Bowl champions, third game in a row on the road. Reggie White claims he was drawn offside by Harris Barton, and the way Barton's reacting, I think that's what happened.
False start, number 79, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
Barton trying to get that. Harris Barton trying to get that jump on Reggie White, saying, I'm going to get back and get set up, because this guy has been driving people crazy today. And Barton, that happens when you have a great player over you as a lineman, and he's had a big day. You say to yourself, not again, baby. I'm going to get back. I'm going to get set up. I'm going to stop you. And you get so tight that when you just hear one little bitty click of a voice, boom, you're off the line of scrimmage.
28-17. First and 15. Montana will run. Gets a nice block out there from Brent Jones, his tight end, on Seth Joyner, and that gave him an additional 5 or 6 yards.
You know, back in 1972 when I played in Pittsburgh, I came into that season mentally telling myself, you know, if we could beat Kansas City, then the Oakland Raiders, the Minnesota Vikings, and another team, I forgot at that time, who were powerhouses. I said, because we were young and growing, I said, boy, this will put us over the hump. And it could be very well do that today. If the Eagles can win this game and play as dominantly defensively as their front line has, this could be the game to get them over the hump.
Mike Barber starts in motion. Montana for Barber. Hit and knocked down by Izell Jenkins. Well, you go back to the win they had last week. Such an emotional victory and obviously a thrilling game for the Eagles. But I think there were a lot of people who wondered how they'd react today.
Right. We did that game,
yes.
And we came away from that saying, well, their defense has got to really tighten up. I mean, you can't give away 300 yards in passing in big plays. But today, I'm so impressed with the pressure of their defense. And, folks, you win Super Bowls with great defenses. The 49ers have it. Now the Eagles, I believe, today have found the confidence. Said, hey, man, we got the makings of a great defense.
First and 10. 12 runs. Harry Sidney inside the Philadelphia 45 to the 43. Still 7:51 to go. Eric Allen with the tackle.
Yeah, this is a good call, good play. Roger Craig, really the backbone, the guy that does the rushing, but notice that number 62 there. That's Guy McIyer leading outside. Good pull trap, and then Sidney right on his hip. Boy, beautiful job. But it's the unknown now. Sidney's running the ball because right now Roger Craig is the guy who hasn't been able to get any yardage.
4 wide receivers set. First half of the 43. 4-man rush. Montana across the middle. Diving catch. Made at the 33 by Brent Jones, the tight end.
That's Sidney coming out of the backfield. Did an option route, Vern, and broke over the middle. Made the catch, another first down. So now they're using Sidney the way they used to use Roger Craig. Sidney running, Sidney catching.
He's on the bench now, and Brent Jones hurries into the lineup. Tom Rathman is also in there, and now Montana tells him to get out. Keith Jackson waves the crowd on. Montana. Jerry Rice, first down, 49ers at the 17. Still 6:33 remaining in the ballgame.
Right, and there's the man coverage again. Every time Reggie White gets over the center, it's man coverage. Forget everything else. Montana knows that, and the corners are playing off Rice, respecting his speed. Throw the hook. That's what Montana did.
First and 10. John Taylor gets by Jenkins, is tackled up on top by Sammy Lilly. No, it's Bill Frisell, William Frisell. 33 instead of 37. 6:02 to go. The clock is stopped.
The quick passing game is working. The 3-step and the 5-step drop that Montana tried early in the game and was unsuccessful because of the tackle pressure is now working. Why is it working? We're in the 4th quarter. People get tired. Montana's having to throw every down now to try to get the 49ers back in this ball game.
2nd and 1.
Throw the save. You got it if you want it.
Lob pass. Touchdown, San Francisco. Tom Rathman.
Beautiful job by Joe Montana. This was the 2-minute drill you saw on NFL today. This is it right here. Beautiful job, felt the pressure, got out. Rathman saw Joe Montana, moved out, gave him the big target. Montana gets Rathman the ball. He's into the end zone.
Montana with his 3rd touchdown toss of the day. Tom Rathman with the catch. Michael Kofer with the extra point. And it's back to a 4-point game. There is the pride of Grand Island, Nebraska. Tom Rathman with an 8-yard reception return. Next Saturday on CBS, college football action. A clash of Southeast Conference powers. The 4th-ranked Auburn Tigers battle the 14th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Auburn outscored its opponents 79-3 this season, and Tennessee has won its last 8 games in a row. Auburn versus Tennessee, 2:30 Eastern Time next Saturday.
Yeah, Tennessee went out to Los Angeles and beat UCLA, and they got a young quarterback down there. Don't know his name, but I know he's young.
Yeah.
Anything under 35 is young. Hey,
I'd agree with that.
But I love those. Hey, those Volunteers in Auburn as Reggie Slack. And, hey, talking to the head scout here for the Eagles,
Joe Woolley.
Joe Woolley, he said that, I said, who's hot? Who do you really like out there? And he said, they got a quarterback in Auburn named Reggie Slack who reminds us every much of Randall Cunningham. He says, man, that guy is something else. So, Auburn, Tennessee, don't miss it. CBS.
Oh, very good.
Hey, what do you think?
You're going to get the Promo of the Week award. Here's the kick. Mark Higgs. Down at the 17.
Well, Vern, doesn't this remind you of what we had last week when we had the Redskins, and it looked like the Eagles are going to put this thing away, and here come the 49ers, world champions. They have a lot of pride. Montana, future Hall of Fame. Now it's on the Eagles. The pressure to hold to the football, keep the football, don't fumble it. Now it's on their shoulders. Will it take a miracle by the 49ers? I don't know.
5:53 to go. First down and 10 at the 17. Jimmy Giles still in the tight end. And the handoff up the middle across the 21-yard line. Pete Kugler, who's playing in place of the injured Michael Carter, makes the tackle.
Nice job by Kevin Fagan, too, Vern, coming in, pinching down. They're taking their ends now. Fagan, Pierce Holt, Larry Rock, they're bringing them down inside, and they're going to just take away the running game of the Eagles inside. They're not going to give them anything more. They're going to force them outside and force them into their linebackers.
There's Charles Hill. 2nd and 7. Cunningham sacked. That's the 4th time they've gotten to Randall Cunningham. And Pete Kugler got it. Number 67, Kugler, who replaced Michael Carter. Michael was out with an injury, came back in and tried it, and here's the sack.
Kugler just extra effort, great effort, gets around the guard. There he is around Tamburillo. Quickness, good defense, good backups. You know, the strength of a team and that keeps that consistency of winning, and depends on the depth. And Kugler, outstanding backup nose tackle to Carter.
3rd and 15. 4-man rush. Whoa! Hit Sherman in the shoulder pad. It's incomplete, and the flag is down.
Man, that was a rocket. I bet Higgs. Sherman is wondering what in the world hit me. He never saw it.
Holding, number 66, offense, decline, 4th down.
Well, how about this? It was 28-17 seemingly just a minute or so ago. The world champions go the length of the field. Rathman catches a touchdown. And now John Telchik is going to punt for Philadelphia. And John Taylor waits for it with still 4:54 to go in the ballgame. Taylor at the 41. Inside Philadelphia country. He's down at the 47-yard line. Tackle made by Ty Allard. And now the crowd starts urging this Philadelphia Eagle defense on. A 47-yard punt. 12 on the return. Sellout crowd on hand in this early season battle of the unbeatens. Here as Joe Montana, who has thrown for 335 yards and 3 touchdowns, gets ready to operate again. And he will go, Terry, with 4 wide receivers.
4 wide receivers spreading everything out. Now, who do you double and who do you single? Montana has to find out.
Straight 4-man rush. Got it.
Well, it was this time last year that Reggie White and people were wanting to know when he got to start getting some sacks, because after 2 games last year, he did not have any. But in the 3rd game, he erupted for 3. Today, 3 more. There's his 3rd one right there. Great effort by this man from the University of Tennessee.
2nd and 23. The 24-yard line. A 36-yard gain.
You don't give up. And when you're playing with Montana or Cunningham, you know something great is going to happen. You don't give up on your routes. You always work to get open. Montana gets loose, and he looks downfield for the quarterback. Now, there's the hit by 59, Seth Joyner, but the quarterback and the receiver saw the same thing. There's a great catch by Taylor. Smart move by Montana.
On 2nd and 23, they get 36. They have a first down at 24. 3:25 to go in the game.
Oh!
Jones, touchdown. Four yards out.
Everyone working to the outside, and Montana steps up, and Brent Jones gets in behind the linebacker, Seth Joyner, 59, who plays underneath Jones. Jones is behind him. No one in the middle. Everyone doubling to the outside. Makes the catch. Touchdown.
The San Francisco 49ers trailing 28-17 just moments ago. And the defending world champions have reclaimed a lead by 3 points with 3:17 to go.
And the last 2 drives by Montana have been 2-minute drives. Prior to that, he had had 1 good pass for 68 yards and a touchdown to Jerry Rice. The rest of the day, he'd been knocked down, sacked 7 times, harassed all day long. But in the last 2 drives, 4 drives, he has done a great job of moving his offense down the field, throwing the football wide open, guys, moving, pecking here, pecking there, and then he hits the big one.
Terry, he went almost exclusively with 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, 4 wide out. That's their 2-minute style. They needed it on the last drive. They went to it, got it going, and smart guy picked up the guy who was single covered, which you're supposed to do. Jones beats his man, Seth Joyner. Montana got him the ball.
Joe Montana, there's Jeff Fisher, the 31-year-old defensive coordinator of the Eagles. Joe told Terry yesterday it's early in the season, but I think I'm enjoying this one as much as I have almost any.
Well, the reason for that is he says, I know I'm at the end of my career, and I'm enjoying it. I appreciate more and more every day my career as a football player.
How about Koper's kick? That's the 2nd time he's not only been in the end zone, he's been beyond it. And now this Eagle team, which has been stunned by a couple of Montana touchdowns. Andre Waters and Clyde Simmons trying to figure out what happened. Randall Cunningham.
Well, we saw the 4 wide receivers used by the 49ers, which really stretches the defensive out. There's no way you can double every one. And with 2 injured starters on the 49ers, you have to believe that that is something that the Eagles should do. Spread it out. Get everyone out and force the 49ers to double 2 and leave 2 single.
4-man rush, Reed Sherman. Tamburello in front with a block. Sherman gets another block. And a first down at the 38-yard line. Ben Tamburello, the 2nd-year man from Auburn, number 61, was out there helping Heath Sherman.
Just a screen. You only use screens when you're against people that drop off their linebackers into zones. That allows you to get your blockers downfield. Good call. Also use them when teams are rushing the quarterback real heavy. That's exactly what the 49ers have been doing today.
First down at the 37-yard line. 3:02 remaining. front of Chet Brooks. And Brooks might have been injured on the play. I think he was. Chet Brooks holding his left leg.
Well, Fuller is the backup strong safety, but Brooks is starting and Fuller is on the field now as a nickel back. So if Brooks goes out, now you feel out Jackson. The only guy left has to come in and play.
Ronnie Lott, Charles Haley come over to.
There's the slide.
And Brooks took it on his left knee, I believe, Terry.
It looks as though it looks like though, Vern, that he hit Cunningham's leg. Let's see again. There's Brooks right on your screen, 31, comes inside. Cunningham's going down, means safe. Can't do anything, can't hit it, and leave him alone. There it is. The right leg of Cunningham hits the left leg of Brooks. And that looks like that's what caused it. He's in a lot of pain, too. See, there's no pad. Notice the thigh pad. Between the thigh pad and the knee pad is a gap in which there are no pads at all. And that very well could have been the area that Cunningham got his knee inside of Brooks' knee in those two pads.
Chet Brooks, who played at Carter High School in Dallas, Texas. Went at Texas A&M. A long shot to make this ball club, an 11th round draft choice a year ago. And a starter now in his second season.
Okay, now Johnny Jackson, number 40, he will be the man that will come in, Vern, and take Brooks' spot. McKyer is out. Eric Wright is out.
It'll be second down and 7. 2:47 remaining in the ball game. Tampa Bay about to knock off New Orleans, and Pittsburgh won its first today. Second down and 8 officially. Intercepted. Picked off by Ronnie Lott. Intended for Keith Byers. It bounced off his hands into the arms of one of the most cerebral ball players in the league.
Ronnie Lott simply plays the center of the football field. Notice in the right of your screen, he moves into the middle. That's his job. On first down, he plays the center of the football field, and in prevent, he plays the center. He reads the quarterback and reacts to the quarterback's eyes. Cunningham's eyes brought him inside. There's a deflected pass by Byers, the interception by Lott. 2 last week, and then 1 today.
Randall Cunningham led his team to the victory last week. They had an 11-point lead less than 3 minutes ago. And Ronnie Lott gets his 46th pick of his career. Harry Sidney to the 37-yard line. 2:24 to go in the ball game. Seth Joyner makes the tackle. Tom Rathman and Brent Jones with touchdown catches here in the latter part of this period. Randall Cunningham had it go right off the arms of Keith Byers. This is an Eagle team trying to go 3-0 with a killer schedule to start the season. Boy, you talked back 30 minutes ago, Terry, about the pride of world champions.
Sure. It's there, and you know, teams don't lose a lot in 6 months. They don't lose a lot. And you push a champion, even though it's a champion that has got some older players, but the key people it has, Montana, Rice, Taylor are the ones. Brent Jones came through today, and the defense, you push them in a corner, and they've done this on the road. Imagine how tough they will be when they get home.
Second down and 8. Harry Sidney stopped at the 33-yard line. And another timeout used. Timeout on the 49ers. Philadelphia trying to go 3-0, and there haven't been that many Philadelphia teams that have gone 3-0. Only twice since '55 and 1980 under Dick Vermeil, who was here today. They went 12-4 and lost Super Bowl 15, and in '81 they finished at 10-6 and got into the wild card game. But they looked pretty good for 3-0 20 minutes ago. Right now, it doesn't look very good at all as they trail 31-28.
This has been one of their toughest tests. The Super Bowl champs mix up their coverages so well. It's very confusing. And then the penetration that Cunningham has faced today is not anything like he has felt all year. The opening game against Seattle was a cakewalk. Last week's game, not a lot of pressure on Randall Cunningham, able to sit back and really throw the football from the pocket. But today, the pocket has been virtually taken away from Cunningham, as it was earlier for Montana.
That last time out was called by the Eagles, by the way. They have one left. 3rd and 4. Deep route for Rice. Caught, touchdown! Oh, my gracious!
Well, we said that they will take Rice away, but eventually they will know the spot to hit him. Early in the first quarter, 68-yard blitz, they get the touchdown pass. Once again, man coverage, Montana, his 5th touchdown pass of the day. Lays it outside, beautiful throw. One of the best anticipation passers you will ever see, number 16, Montana. Look at that throw. I'm talking good coverage, just absolutely perfect.
28 points in the 4th quarter. 4 touchdown passes from Joe Montana in the final stanza, which still has 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. And Randall Cunningham just turned and smiled. Michael Quick is not smiling right now.
Well, they haven't been able to spring Mike Quick loose today. Losing Jackson took some of that away, not getting Byers in the offense like Byers was affected last week with the 10, 11, 12 catches he caught out of the backfield. Jackson, a tight end, 12 catches, an all-time record for him last week. Cunningham, an all-time game for him last week. Today, the defense played well, but the offense, although they had the lead now, has not been the offense that we had seen the other 2 weeks.
Keith Jackson out with a bruised back. And these Eagle fans who were celebrating with about 6 minutes to go have now begun to flock out of here. 38-28, 21 unanswered 4th quarter points by the San Francisco 49ers, who finally get a home game next week against the Rams, and then probably will have to go on the road the week after that if the Giants win the National League West, which they seem almost sure to do. The baseball playoffs will be in San Francisco, and so this one is back in the end zone. Will come out to the 20-yard line. Michael Topher. And we have the 2-minute warning at 1:56. The 49ers lead by 10. Simon on the bench, still in the state of disbelief as to what's happened to the Eagles here. In the final portions of the ball game, they had a seemingly secure 28-17 lead after Jimmy Giles' touchdown catch, when all of a sudden Joe Montana erupted. Touchdown tosses to Rathman, Brent Jones, and Jerry Rice. And now the Eagles trying to play catch up in the final 2 minutes. Keith Byers, screen pass out to the 36-yard line. Cunningham brings them up. They'll go without a huddle. And he'll stop the clock.
See, normally on a 2-minute offense, you don't stop the clock by killing it with that type of play. What you normally do, I was taught, you call 2 plays in the huddle. You anticipate where the ball will end up once it's tackled, and so the second formation is designed for that. So you call 2 plays. You don't call 1 and then kill the clock, but maybe that's how they do it here in Philadelphia.
Out of the shotgun, 3-man rush. Umbrella defense. That one is caught by Greg Garrity up at the 46 and will be near a first down.
See, there should be 2 plays called, and you shouldn't have to do anything. You're killing time right now. 2 plays ought to be called.
Mike Quick makes the grab. That is a first down. And let's see if they go with their final timeout now, or they keep...
Now you kill it.
1:05 remaining in the ball game. Yep.
There you go. That's how you do it.
So that stops the clock with 63 seconds to go, and Randall Cunningham will have time now to huddle up. Coming up, the post-game show, scores and highlights. The NFL Today post-game show following the conclusion of our ball game. Scores and highlights, and that's coming up just 63 seconds from right now. Third down. Randall will run. Fumble. Picked up on one hop. 49ers have it. Johnny Jackson. First-year man from Houston.
The thing he does so well is in the open. Notice the hand in the right hand, trying to direct traffic. Now he's using his right arm as a motor, as something that's pulling him that you use when you run. And then the ball is just stripped from him from behind. That's just a case where Randall Cunningham trying to make as much as he could make. But when you know you're going to be hit, you got to get on down. You're trying to get into the end zone. You got to protect the football.
Last week, 447 and 5 touchdowns. Today, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and less than 200 yards. And this one is in the books. Final 50 seconds. This is a 49er team that has won 3 world championships in the 80s, and en route has been the best road team in the NFL. They have won more on the road than anybody else in this decade. 71% of their road trips have been happy trips back to the Bay Area. Washington and the Raiders are next at 57%. And they go 3-0 this season, and they do so with 3 wins on the road. Next Sunday on CBS, we're going to have a doubleheader for you. All starts with the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern Time. In Game 1, most of you will see the Redskins battle the New Orleans Saints or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Minnesota Vikings. Then in Game 2, Terry and I will be down in Dallas for the Giants-Dallas ball game. And others of you will watch the Rams against the 49ers as San Francisco comes in 3-0. There's Eddie DeBartolo, I think. Nope, that's Ronnie Lott heading for the... Yes, it is Eddie. The owner of the 49ers, helping Ronnie Lott. He is 9-year-old pro free safety back into the locker room. Montana, 227 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's in the 4th quarter, Terry, on 11 of 13.
Guy just responds to pressure, done it time and time again, and they never gave up. Just never gave up, and showed why they're Super Bowl champions. And if the Eagles learned one lesson today, if you have a world champion down, you better stomp him. Better not give him any life. And when Ronnie Lott made that interception, the entire game turned around.
George Seifert said yesterday, all I've done thus far is prove that my team is better than 2 other teams on 2 Sundays. Well, now it's 3 Sundays in a row. Replacing Bill Walsh, George Seifert, now 3-0 as the 49ers win a big one. Once again, the final score, 38-28 San Francisco. Coming up next on CBS, the NFL Today post-game show with Brendan Irv and all the scores and highlights right after this message.
San Francisco 49er fans, they get enough excitement. And how about those fans over in Philadelphia? It has to be a heartbreaking loss.
They have to be disappointed, but I'm telling you, though, Brent, you saw the master at work. I mean, no one handles pressure football better than Joe Montana.
Yeah, and those of you who watch that game, you can see that the Giants came through also, too. This, of course, the one between the Eagles and the 49ers. San Francisco prevailing largely because of the heroics of one Joe Montana. How about the one blow he took, and he still got the pass into Taylor's arms. He went down the sideline. And some of the other...
In Philadelphia, Joe Montana was sacked 8 times, but he held his ground against a ferocious pass rush. And ultimately, the Eagles' 28-17 lead vanished in a blaze of Montana-ignited firepower.
Big play! Big play! Back to throw Montana. The blitz is here. He gets the ball away, though. It's up the right sideline. And breaking loose and going to go all the way. Taylor will go. It's a touchdown for the 49ers.
Joe threw 4 of his team record-tying 5 touchdown passes in the final quarter. And a 38-28 victory would leave the Niners undefeated after 3 games.
Montana to throw. He wants the end zone. Rice has got it. Touchdown,
Montana is peerless under pressure.
The number 2 Montana game of all time, the 1989 Eagles game.
There are so many, and obviously the big games, the Super Bowls, the playoffs, clutch. But the one that really resonates with me was the Philadelphia Eagles game.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Joe Starkey at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Is this the team of the 80s against the team of the 90s today?
Concentration will win this game for us, man. These guys are not better than us. So what? They've been in the Super Bowl. So are the Redskins. It's time to go out and kick some work on 3. Work on 3. 1, 2, 3. Work!
People don't understand the overtones that preceded this game. The 49ers are the defending champions, but Bill Walsh is gone. It's 1989.
It's going to be a good game. Got 2 good teams, got beautiful weather. What the hell, you know? Somebody going to win, somebody going to lose. I mean,
they had pulled out 2 games to start the season under George Seifert, but the Eagles were the it team. That whole city and team was geeked up, and this was going to be the changing of the guard game. And that's how it played out in the first half.
In the first half, Montana was sacked 6 times.
That Philadelphia Eagles defense might have been the best defense in history of the league.
They're playing a Philadelphia team on that horrendous artificial turf that might as well have been just concrete painted green.
Joe Montana just got pummeled over and over.
Chased again, caught and dropped. It's Clyde Simmons.
I would run a route, 10-yard route, turn around, I'd be open, and there'd just be a huge pile up. I'd look, I go, where the heck is he? Unburying himself from, 5 defensive players.
That's a safety.
Things were so bad that 49ers offensive line coach Bob McKittrick went to Joe Montana at halftime and apologized.
I said I'm on pitch, and he kind of slid, and I got washed off of the other.
It was stunning because everybody in the press box had counted the 49ers out of that game. But we all forgot who was the quarterback of the 49ers.
At halftime, they knew they couldn't survive, so they spread them out and went to 4 wide. Well, that's counterintuitive. They're killing Joe Montana, our fine china. Let's take a back out of the backfield and run a spread offense so they can kill him even more. But what Holmgren knew is that not only is Montana tough enough to stay in, but if you give him a little bit more space, he might pick you apart.
2nd and 23. Taylor!
When you're playing with Montana, you know something great is going to happen.
I know there was a few times in the huddle where he told those guys they better stink and block because we're not out of this thing.
Montana to throw. He's got Rathman. He's into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers.
You could say, hey, man, we're on the road. We're down big. Chalk this one up to an L. Let's go home. Go win the West. Don't worry about it. No, by McKittrick saying that to Montana at halftime and by Montana kind of coming out and doing what he did showed that incredible resolve and the physical toughness.
In the fourth quarter alone, Joe passed for 4 touchdowns and accounted for 246 total yards.
There's this weird buzz in the stands, like, wait, what's going on? But we can still come back. And they run a play action. You see Jerry Rice going deep, and you knew this is the I'm Joe Montana and you're not play.
Montana to throw. He wants the end zone. Rice has got it.
All those players were far physically tougher than they got credit for. And that game, Joe showed it in its finest fashion.
It's interesting that you have it as 2 because I've always thought it's an underrated Montana game. Apparently now it's overrated.
I have it number 1, just because of the beating he took.
We played in Philly, you know, Buddy Ryan was there, and they had a huge defensive line. And everybody kept saying that we were more of a finesse team, that we couldn't play with those guys.
Montana back to throw. He wants it all. Rice is out there.
In the first series, I hit Jerry for a long touchdown on a blitz play. And I was going, well, this is going to be easier than I thought. But from that point on, I never picked myself up off the ground more times.
He's sacked. Reggie White. The dominant factor in this game, no question about this, has been that 46 defense of Buddy Ryan.
In the end, we got behind by a pretty good margin.
Now we're in the 4th quarter of this game. We got to expect him to pull off the magic.
I threw a pass to John Taylor along the sideline where he was just surrounded by guys, and he caught the ball, made a couple little moves, and was full speed down the sideline.
It's a touchdown for the 49ers.
When you're playing with Montana, you know something great is going to happen.
227 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 28 points in the 4th quarter. The final score, 38-28 San Francisco.
I mean, that's one of those games that sticks out because it truly was a battle for us.